this morning. 1959. Which two territories became U.S. states? We go to Leo and see if we can get an answer. So we have Leo. Leon! No, Leo, not Leon. Okay. Hey, Leo, good morning.
Good morning, guys. You guys rock.
Thanks, buddy. All right, so in 1959, what two territories became U.S. states?
Alaska and Hawaii.
Correct. Yeah, hang on. You, sir, just got yourself a $50 DoorDash gift card. You can get saucy with frickin' delicious fried chicken tenders.
Delicious.
That's from Tender Shack. And you can choose two signature seasoning options, Dang Good Seasoned or Nashville Hot as Fire.
Hot diggity dog.
And dip them in 5 incredible sauces. The delivery-only menu is available on DoorDash. All right, so we'll start with this on, speaking of the MCU. Yesterday, Jonathan Majors appeared in court in New York City for a hearing regarding an alleged domestic violence incident that occurred in March. His rumored girlfriend, Megan Good, was holding his hand upon arrival. According to an eyewitness, they told Entertainment Tonight, while they waited for his name to be called, she tickled the back of his neck and stroked his head. She was being very affectionate and protective. At one point, she traced her finger along the back of his neck to his ear. That sounds kind of...
It's overly... And then gently with a light flicking of the tongue.
That's a little...
Then a spit string.
That's some PDA at the hearing, which is interesting. She leaned into him and said...
I want to kiss you.
The source added that... Wait, that's them talking to each other. Do that again.
I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you. I want to kiss you.
You're going to be my regular Saturday night thing, baby.
Oh yeah.
The source...
That is a lot of PDA for a courtroom.
The source added the case is set to go to trial on August 3rd, by the way. Treat Williams was laid to rest on Monday during an intimate funeral in Vermont, according to his agent, Barry McPherson. The Everwood actor died unexpectedly at the age of 71. It was a motorcycle accident earlier this month. And regarding the ceremony, McPherson said it happened last night. It was beautiful and filled with love. Williams is survived by his wife, Pam Van Zandt, and their 2 children, 31-year-old Gil and 24-year-old Ellie. It's still just a horrible story to think about. This is unexpected. Tom Cruise couldn't help but gush over his friendship with none other than Janet Jackson.
Yeah, who knew that?
Calling the singer a goddess. While attending the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 world premiere in Rome on Monday, the Top Gun star said that he spent his day off in May seeing Janet perform live. He told E.T., that was a moment. Yeah, that was my night off. That was my last break, and I just want to tell you to...
Have you guys been friends for a long time?
To go see Janet. And he had an in-depth conversation with E.T.
How long have you been friends?
And he said, I'm right there. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, bro, come on. You're going to be my regular Orf clap thing.
Wait, is that your Saturday?
Saturday.
Orf clap?
Orf clap, yeah.
Yeah, Orf clap. So he had said that it's Janet. She's a legend.
What did you do with your middle tooth?
After the actor...
We thought of you as a god on our home world.
After the actor attended Jackson's show last month, the singer took to Instagram to share a picture with Cruise. In the accompanying caption, she revealed her affectionate nickname for the Oblivion actor. She has a nickname for Tom Cruise.
What is it?
She said, T, it was so good to see you and nice spending some time together. When asked about the nickname for him, the 60-year-old told E.T., yeah, she calls me T.
It's stupid.
Yeah. You're E.T.
I know.
And he's T.
Yeah, rip off.
She can call me whatever she wants, he said. She's Janet Jackson. She's a goddess.
I'm calling you D.H. for dickhead.
Wow.
Wait, did somebody in this story say, I'll be right here?
Waiting for you.
No,
Richard Marx, one of my favorites. Thanks for bringing that up, Nick.
No, it's a line in E.T.
I'll be right here.
Here, just midsection solar plexus area above your right aorta.
No, he said, I'm right there. I'm right
there in your butt.
Wait, all right.
Wow.
Wait a minute. That's where one of your tongues is, if I remember correctly. Yeah. We have 3 tongues and one's in our butt, if I remember.
Just in case you miss something coming into the mouth.
But honestly,
before you leave the body, let me have one last taste.
T isn't that great of a nick. It's just
reduced your name Tom down to T.
Yeah.
You took away 2 letters. That's
As a matter of fact, you're so lazy that you can't even say a 1-syllable word. I hate her.
Or
just kidding. But
no, but it's Tom Cruise. I mean, like, who gets away with calling Tom Cruise T?
Right.
I'm
You
gonna call him
what I
T
mean?
from now on.
All right.
Yeah.
TC though.
Yo,
TC
T-
would be cooler, right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the
TC
dude.
was the helicopter pilot in Magnum PI.
That's
That's
right.
right.
There's only one TC in this world.
That's right, bro.
Is it that one?
That's that one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Samuel L. Jackson is speaking out against the ongoing backlash directed at his longtime co-star Brie Larson. I didn't know there was any backlash against Brie Larson.
I mean, from what I can see, there was an initial Marvel thing when she was promoting the movie, but I thought that had died out.
In a recent interview with the Rolling Stone, Jackson addressed the criticism aimed at Larson, particularly regarding her portrayal of Captain Marvel in the MCU. Jackson described Larson as an unapologetic feminist and emphasized her strength in the face of adversity. He dismissed the negative options of, quote, incel dudes and Marvel fans who have targeted Larson for expressing her opinions and asserting her feminist views. According to Jackson, Larson's resilience is often underestimated. He praised her for staying true to herself and not allowing the backlash to destroy her. He highlighted the significance of Brie Larson being a strong woman with her own opinions and acknowledged that not everyone will embrace that.
She's an Oscar winner. She won an Oscar, for The Room.
For The Room, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Or is it just called Room?
A Room, really great performance.
It really was.
Yeah.
I never saw that. I love her. I think she's there's something about her. I just really, really dig her style.
Yeah. I like the way
I loved
she-
her first.
I think she's pretty.
Stop it.
I really love her.
Get away from me.
I love her. more
Boys,
than you.
boys. There's more than one hole. At least on my planet. My second one has a tongue, but enough about me. What do you think about the tongue in my butthole?
Oh my god.
I mean,
All
I'm
right.
intrigued.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Would like to know more?
I'd like to see it.
Click this to
Please.
find out more. Hi, I'm E.T. Click this button to find out more about the tongue in my butthole.
There's more than one hole, is what I heard. Wow.
All right.
The actor shared
By the way,
how...
for people wondering, that's the tongue that's sticking out. It's not the disgusting.
yeah, don't
act.
be gross.
Yeah, it's how you re-eat what you've already eaten.
The actor also shared how he and Larson developed a strong bond while working together on the film Kong Skull Island. Despite the challenging experience, they became great friends and supported each other during difficult times. So they're really, really tight.
Yeah,
apparently.
I bet you they ran a lot of lines during that movie.
When Larson was offered the role of Captain Marvel, she sought Jackson's advice. He enthusiastically encouraged her to join the MCU, emphasizing the importance of her presence and representation.
So Kong was before Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sciatalon came before Kong.
Sciatalon,
All right.
Kong.
Yeah, that was
Which was the sequel.
Yeah. That's what the natives are singing.
Kong. Jackson and Larson are set to reunite in the upcoming film The Marvels, and the movie will bring together the characters Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel. Jackson will reprise his role as Nick Fury.
Today is Secret Invasion, right?
Right. So if you're speaking of that movie, if you watch the trailer for that movie coming up.
What is it? I didn't hear.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Okay.
So, there's these, the Skrull can pass as any entity.
Yeah.
And so you see Nick Fury in space.
Right.
And there's a perception that's maybe where he's been all along.
Yeah. So we shall see. You guys remember the pop singer Kesha?
Yes.
Of course.
This is a really weird story. She's opening up about her near fatal health issue that she experienced after freezing her eggs.
Oh.
Yeah, and I never
heard
knew that could be a dangerous procedure.
Me neither.
So she revealed in an interview that she almost died in January, weeks after undergoing medical treatment to freeze her eggs.
We assume they take them out of you, right?
That's what I assumed, and she didn't give any specifics, but the article notes that she did share more details off the record that it was an uncommon yet serious complication from the fertility procedure.
Huh.
She spent 9 days hospitalized in Miami as a result. She said, I finally feel recovered, but it took a couple of months. Is this her?
My glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna hit
Oh my
this.
God, I forgot about this.
I leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack.
There's a little bit of Bill Cosby in there. Yeah.
I wonder if it was any type of procedure, an infection can form. So I wonder if it was something like that.
Maybe.
But then, raged out of control.
About a glass of wine, and let's see if we can defrost those eggs.
Dude. She said, I finally feel recovered, but it took a couple of months. It was horrifying. The singer also said that she had been hesitant to discuss the health issues publicly for fear that it would be interpreted as a broader statement on pregnancy or reproductive agency. She said, I was just taking my reproductive health into my own hands, and I stand by everyone doing that and honoring your body.
You remember Kesha was the one that tried to get a hug off of Jerry Seinfeld.
No, thanks.
It was her.
That's when he's going, no, thanks.
No,
thank you.
I don't think so. Do you have that over there, Case?
I do not. I don't know. Here, let me check.
By the way, I use that tone of voice and that no thank you all of the time.
No, thank you.
Like,
No, thank you.
all the time.
Really?
Yes. It's
Give me a
just-
scenario when you would use
Well,
that.
it's mainly with Jace,
Okay.
and he's asking for something. I go, no, that's okay. No, thank you. No.
Kesha opened up to the magazine about getting diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called common variable immunodeficiency, or CVID, which puts her at higher risk of recurrent, potentially serious infections, Kathy. So maybe that's part of it. She elaborated on why she hasn't shared her CVID diagnosis publicly until now and said, I just never wanted to be whiny, privileged girl. And also my image had been that of going out and having fun.
No, thanks.
That's Jerry Seinfeld.
No, thanks.
We have the
No,
whole
thank you.
thing right here.
It's hard to just sleep when you're tired because people are tired most of the time.
I love you so much.
Oh, thanks.
Can I give you a hug?
No, thanks.
Please?
No, thanks.
A little one.
Yeah, no, thanks. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, that's Kesha.
Okay. Well, I wish her the best.
No, thanks.
No, thanks.
No, thank you.
No, thanks.
Avril Lavigne. And let's stay with the pop princesses for a moment here. Avril
No,
Lavigne.
she's an alt princess.
Oh,
Preston.
yeah, I'm sorry. How did I ever mistake myself here? No, she and Tyga have called it quits
How can this be? They were meant for each other.
on their relationship. The 38-year-old singer and the 33-year-old rapper recently broke up after 3 months of dating, so it was a quickie.
Where's Tyga playing these days that he's some... I would say his star has descended in the rap world. I mean, Casey, your kids are more into...
Tyga never, ever
nothing.
enters our car stereos ever.
Sources say Lavigne and Tyga split a couple of weeks ago. The decision was reportedly mutual, and the pair remain on good terms.
Which means they hate each other's guts, and they will never talk again.
They were first linked in February after they were spotted at dinner in Nobu in Los Angeles.
Is there a yes boo? Everyone talks about the Nobu.
There
Nick, you've been
needs
to
to be.
Nobu,
I
right?
have, yeah.
Yes.
Is it worth the all the hubbub?
It was a great dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an experience. I don't need to get back.
Yeah.
But the one time going, it was really cool. I enjoyed it.
News broke 2 days later that Lavigne and her fiance Maud's son had ended their relationship.
Tyga and Maud's son.
Yeah, Lavigne was previously married to Chad Kroger and Derek Wilby. At
the same time.
Whibley. And Tyga was married to Jordan Craig, and Tyga also previously dated Black China and Kylie Jenner.
You remember that that Whibley almost literally drank himself to death.
Yep. He had a real alcohol problem. He got it together, though. Speaking of getting it together, Robert Downey Jr. told Dax Shepard on Monday's episode of the Armchair Expert podcast that going to prison in 1999 was, quote, the worst thing that happened to me. He was initially sentenced to 3 years at the California Substance Abuse Treatment Facility and State Prison after missing court-ordered drug testing related to a 1996 cocaine possession charge. And he ended up only spending a year in prison and was released in 2000. And describing his time there, he said, you could just feel the evil in the air. And that was no trouble at all because it was kind of like just being in a really, really bad neighborhood. There was no opportunity there. There were only threats. And he added that the experience was like being sent to a distant planet where there is no way home until the planets align.
I saw footage of him. So Mel Gibson interceded on his behalf and helped get him back on the right track. And then there was some point, I don't know how old this video is, Preston, but it's Robert Downey Jr. talking about Mel Gibson, they were both on stage, and he's basically saying, and now it's my turn to return the favor. Basically saying, you've gotten some bad press.
Yeah. Let's see here. Whitney Cummings took to Instagram on Tuesday to announce that she's expecting her first child.
What?
Yeah, the accused actress showed photos of herself in a bikini playing with her dog at a pool, and it said, in these pics, I am with child, and there's a baby in me, too. She said, human pup coming December. All your dates in 2023 still happening. I just may fall over a couple of times.
Do we know the daddy?
I don't know anything about
Tyga?
Whitney Cummings and what relationship she is in. I know nothing of that.
We had her on the show a while ago when she was coming to town to perform. She spent a ton of time in the area.
Yeah, she went to Penn.
She went to Penn and had some great stories.
Yep. Let's see, just a couple other quick things. People reports that Elizabeth Chambers and actor Armie Hammer have reached an agreement to settle their divorce 3 years after Chambers first filed in 2020. It's hard to believe. It doesn't feel like it's been 23 years.
Yes, it's crazy.
Court documents state that the parties have entered into a written agreement regarding their property and their marriage and domestic partnership rights, including support, the original of which can be or has been submitted to the court.
What? What the hell is that?
I don't know. The pair were married for 10 years. The actor has been accused of rape.
Is there some of the
it's legalese here?
Just improv that you have been known to, become to known as?
So
I rest my case.
Have you watched the documentary about Armie Hammer and the family? Oh yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Weird.
So there are other serious allegations as well, but they're done. Their divorce apparently is finalized. And then let's see one last thing. Yeah, let's do this. Page 6 reports that Tori Spelling was spotted wearing a T-shirt that read "Boys Lie" on Monday as her husband of 17 years, Dean McDermott, was moving boxes out of their home and into a storage unit. Yeah.
So she's been hurt.
Yeah, this comes just days after McDermott shared that and later deleted the announcement on social media that the pair were divorcing. So she's not happy. She's making a statement, I think.
Boys lie.
We are ready for some clips. The Stroll is film about the lives of transgender sex workers in New York during the 80s and 90s. And in this clip, trans director Kristen Lovell talks about the pitfalls of previous films about the trans community. So here is the clip.
When these filmmakers would come into our communities and tell these stories, it was always the most bleak, dire stories ever imagined. Bleak, as if we couldn't elevate ourselves out of those situations. Taking the narrative ourselves because they're forgetting the joy, the happiness, the things that we do in order to survive in a world that constantly throws us out. It was important to pick up the camera and make sure that we do.
Sounds like one of the Kardashians.
Very much so. The same delivery.
The vocal fry. The Stroll premieres today on HBO. Here's the next clip. The Perfect Find is an upcoming romantic comedy about a forbidden love that could spell disaster for a fashion writer's career comeback. And in this clip, actress Gabrielle Union talks about what the film has to say about dating in your 40s.
What do women of a certain age, what are we even allowed to desire? And sometimes, like, people think that we forget. Like, we forget what it is to be a woman. We forget what desire is and passion is. And so a lot of people don't look at us as options. But baby, I'm here to tell you, we've got options.
Shut up, dummy.
The Perfect Find streams on Netflix on Friday.
Fred Sanford can level anyone, can he?
Yes, and that is the last story in the entertainment report for you this morning. Casey's handing me something. It looks like, pair of passes to see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. If you would like to go, the show is Wednesday the 28th. So next Wednesday, 1 week from today at 7 p.m. at the AMC Neshaminy. And then the film hits theaters Friday, June 30th. So I tell you what, we'll take callers 8, 9, and 10 at 215-263-WMMR, and we will give you those movie passes, all right? 8, 9, and 10, we will set you up. All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break, come back in a moment. Comedian Alex Pearlman will be on the show, and Flyers president Keith Jones is going to be in our studio, and he's bringing the brand new uniforms with him as well.
Can't wait to see him.
Be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve. All 93.3 WMMR.
Monday. Yeah, the track follows Blame It On My Youth and Generational Divide is the third offering from the trio's new LP, which is tentatively titled Bajmir. Somebody they texted this. And it says their album is Rim Job Backwards. I thought that was the name of Rim Job Backwards was the name of the album. No, Bajmir is Rim Job spelled backwards.
Oh, what? There we go. Thank you. We would not have known that.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Bajmir. Or you can name an album Rim Job Backwards.
Would it sound that way if you took
I doubt it.
reversed it, I don't think it would.
Here, let's all say
try it?
We could.
Yes.
So just say clearly, say rim job.
Can you record it and play backwards or no?
Yes, I can.
Okay, say when.
Go ahead. When?
Rim job.
All right.
Okay,
Let's,
so Casey will record that.
All right.
Reverse it, and we'll see what that sounds like. All right. Okay, say when.
Go ahead. When?
Rim job.
All right, you ready?
Yep. Habaj and mir.
Yeah.
Habaj mir.
Yeah.
Habaj and mir. There's a little in there, but habaj mir. Now let me say that forward.
And see if it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Habaj mir.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that. See if it comes back as
Try
rim.
that. Go here and.
Rim job.
We're scientists.
Rim job.
Do it again.
Hold
Do
on.
it again. You can even do it better.
Rim job. Rim job.
We are ready to transmit.
Habaj mir. Rim job.
The aliens are about to transmit a message. Rim job.
Play it again, Casey. Rim job.
You really got that in there.
I love our
And now the envoy from Neptune is about to speak.
Rim job.
Rim job.
Rim job.
Rim job.
It's
like you've just met in the jungle. Rim job.
Rim job.
You.
That's my favorite one.
Rim job.
It's a
Rim job.
Rim job. You like rim job.
Rim.
Rim job.
Rim.
Why did that?
I don't know why it's stopping.
Me? Neither.
Rim job.
Rouge, you tongue to cream butthole.
At the end, I go, rim job.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's definitely
Rim
enough to-
job.
That's the natural gagging.
Rim job. Job. Someone wants to point out that we've won awards.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
I know.
True.
That doesn't mean they can't rescind them.
Yeah.
What?
Do you get the spicy chicken at the Chick-fil-A, or do you just get the regular chicken?
I have gotten the spicy before.
I think I'm just a spicy chicken guy. Like there.
Oh, dear God. I'm just a spicy chicken guy.
Are you coming out right now?
I'm coming out.
I mean, Pride Month ended
Mom,
yesterday.
can we
Did it end
talk?
yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah,
June.
June.
All right, anyway,
Okay,
I was
well,
just joking. Go
I'm a
ahead.
spicy chicken guy. Oh, no.
But I just wanted to let this be known that Wendy's has,
Well, I'll always love you.
has the spicy chicken nuggets are back. So
That was, yes, I
yeah.
did see that announcement they made. So you wanted to get the word out?
I just want to get the word out. Want to
All
let
right.
people know it's usually like $6 for $1.
Yeah.
I heard.
This morning on the Preston C Show, Casey Boy reveals something concerning fast food and an extended offer. We go now to Jim Iglesiewski outside of the Pentagon. Jim, did Casey in fact confirm there was an extended offer? That's correct, Tom. Thank you, Jim.
That's all you had to say. Yes, that's correct. It's confirmed.
I think I'm just a spicy chicken guy. Like
Just a spicy chicken guy. Spicy chicken guy. Oh no! Dear God, I'm just a spicy chicken guy.
I just want to get the word out. Want to
All
let
right.
people know.
Okay, so I want to talk about the movies that are opening this weekend. Where'd Casey go?
Do you think he had to make a boom boom?
I'm not really sure. There's a lot of things that are off about him today, so...
Is it even Casey?
It might not be Casey. Did we check?
Maybe it's
No,
the hair.
we usually take a urine specimen every morning.
So we usually have a little song that we play. Marissa, I don't know if you can find that or not. It's the 20th Century Fox with the recorder.
Yeah.
Maybe it's under... I don't know what it's even labeled under.
I'll admit this. I'm a little scared.
We have kazoos.
You could do that, Kath.
You're a master of it, Kathy. Play it. Play it for us.
I got mine, Kath.
All right, I have my egg.
You know how it goes?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you the root.
Okay, ready?
Wait, hum it for me. Yeah. Okay.
Ray, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
You were way better than me.
Thank you. I went for it.
That was sensational.
little lightheaded.
You know what I realized?
You have a recorder.
I have a recorder right here.
You want to do it again?
You okay?
I'm better.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't feel good, guys.
Right over here is Jason Kelsey. How you doing so far? You enjoying the off season?
Yeah, it's good. We just started up again about 2 weeks ago. This week was the first week on the field with the coaches. So we're kind of back at it.
Kind of seems like there's really not any sort of real off season these days. The nature of the beast is that you just keep at it.
Yeah, especially when you're playing playoff games and stuff like that. It shortens down. We're probably 7 months out of the year working, but that's. Pretty intensive work for 7 months. But
Jason, is it a case of is it sort of better that way because you gotta do more getting up to speed?
Yeah.
If you take too much time off, and if you kind of sort of keep at it, you're always just to take off, fighting weight, basically.
Yeah, I think most guys lift year round pretty much.
Yeah.
You'll take a few weeks off here or there, go on vacation, whatnot, but most guys are always staying in shape. This time of the year is especially important for all the new free agents that we got in, all the guys that are trying to learn the terminology, the new playbooks.
Well, your brother's like one of the best tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
He does a great commercial, by the way.
He's tackling an eagle in that commercial, or have we talked about this yet?
He's dancing in the commercials, the commercial that I'm talking about, where he's sort of fantasizing and he's doing like an end zone dance, and then you realize that he's like standing in the middle of a store or whatever. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, because you guys are both at the top of your games and the top of your positions, who's the actual better athlete?
Oh, Travis is not even close.
Oh, really?
Not even close. You got to call him as you see him. Yeah. Honestly, he's living it out in fantasy, and you're doing it.
Yeah. No, he's a special athlete, and he always has been. Even no matter what it was, basketball, baseball. He's just had a knack for sports. I think that I've always been big, fast, and strong, but the type of athlete he is, how fluid he is, the way he moves, his ability to change direction and things like that, and spatial awareness. He's a tremendous athlete.
Jason, you and Nick share something in common. You guys have both climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
You climbed Mount Kili?
I did. Yeah, I did it for charity as well. The organization you guys did it with was Chris Long and Bo Allen. And the Water Boys is a fantastic organization. And, when I did it, I thought I never want to do it again. Because
same here.
Yeah, it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
But now it's been several years, and I want to do it again. And part of the reason why I want to do it again is because of the work you guys have done for such a great organization. And I love philanthropic climbs at all. And to do it and make it that challenging is really impressive. Tell me your impressions of the climb itself.
Same as you.
Yeah.
The moment I started going up that last night, about halfway through, I was like, what in the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
You're in the pitch black. You're going. What route did you go up?
We did Umbwe.
Umbwe?
Yeah.
We did Rongai, which is the only one from like the north side.
Yes.
It's the shortest, but I think.
Is it steeper?
I think it's at the top. It's a little bit steeper.
Because everyone says it's like Nick was saying that it basically, as climbs go, it's a gradual. But there was one route that at the end, it's probably what you did, that it becomes a lot steeper.
The summit is the hardest part of the climb.
Exactly.
And you're already tapped out because you've done a climb for several days in a row, and then it becomes the steepest part at the highest elevation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't know if it's any steeper, I shouldn't say that, but you do have to, once you get to the top, you don't go right to the peak, so you have to like walk around to the other side of the peak, which is a little bit more of like another 2 hours once you're already at the top, which is kind of like, why in the heck am I?
Are you walking?
I should already be here.
Is that so you summit like at daybreak?
So you get up at midnight the night before. That's what we did on this route. You have a headlamp on. It's the blackest of black you've ever seen. I mean, there's not a light
on a mountain.
Yeah, and you just start making your ascent. And at this point, it's a little bit too steep for guys like me to go straight up. I mean, the porters and guys who do this, I mean, there's nothing to them. They're walking up and down like it's just another day of work.
Bastards.
But, for us, we go kind of sideways in these skip backs, and it took us 7.5 hours to get to Gilman's Point, which was the top of the Rongai route, and then we had to walk another 2.5 hours to the peak. So I got to the peak around 10 a.m.
Who else climbed with you guys?
So it was me, Chris, Bo, and Haloti Nada were the 4 guys that have played with the Eagles.
And Haloti?
They said Haloti and Bo were the 2 heaviest guys that they've ever seen climb the mountain.
And he announced his retirement from at the peak, at the summit.
After the climb, the mountain is now 16,000 feet.
As we're sitting here talking to you, the texts are coming in, and I wanted to find out what you hear most. Do you hear Hungry dogs, what is it? Hungry dogs run faster?
Yeah.
Okay. Or if I don't eat breakfast, I'm pissed off.
Yep.
Or from that speech, there were several highlights. Do people just yell those out to you sometimes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you hear most?
I was actually surprised nobody this morning asked if I ate breakfast and if I was upset or not.
You've heard it enough,
yeah,
man.
Oh, thank you.
You know,
I probably hear hungry dogs run faster than
Yeah.
and that's not just from. I mean, that's still a mantra of Jeff Stoutland. I mean, he was just grilling some of the younger guys with it today, and or not today, but yesterday about we got some rookies coming in here. We got some new free agent signings. You want to talk about hungry dogs, and he's trying to motivate people with it. I mean, it's something that was such a big part, I think, with the team and the city, and it kind of all correlated together that I probably hear that one the most.
That's Jason Kelsey. Yeah. I did notice something else.
More from the noticer. He notices so you don't have to.
I noticed
across an empty field. Down the dark alley.
I do notice that I will use digital assistants from time to time. The two that I use are
your fingers.
No.
And your toes.
Not those digital
I'm
assistants.
sorry.
Meaning Siri and Alexa. Those are the two that I use from time to time. Now,
Okay.
Alexa I mainly use for like a timer when I'm cooking or music to listen to real quick or something like that.
In your kitchen, do you have the show, the Alexa show? Which has the screen on it?
Oh. No.
It's actually very cool, especially if you're doing recipes or things of that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there was a new study that finds which is the smartest of them all and in what order. This is Loop Ventures. They did a study that had researchers ask the four digital assistants 800 questions, and they found all assistants were great at understanding the questions. They have determined who actually answered the most questions.
I have them all, or have had them all. This sounds like I'm bragging about sexual conquest. But, yeah, so go through this. I'm curious to see if it lines up with what I experienced.
So they found that the smartest of them all is...
WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kath. Our guest is in the studio. Last time we spoke to him, it was freshly after. He was, well, not freshly after, but shortly after he was
fairly fresh.
President of hockey operations for the Philadelphia Flyers. And now, here, live in our studio is Mr. Keith Jones. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. Great to see everybody. Great to be in here for the first time. It's a pretty fancy studio.
Oh, thank you, sir.
A lot of moving parts here.
Yeah. Yep, we do have a big operation.
And we wanted it to be a radio studio and not like someone's living room. You know?
That's kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thanks.
I like it.
To be honest, I was expecting you in a three-piece suit this morning.
Yeah.
I thought the president, lives and breathes in outfits like that. But I do like this the little zip-up Flyers.
It's pretty
sweater
sharp,
you're
isn't
wearing.
it?
Yeah,
it's,
it's
it's
awesome.
the burnt orange. We got it last night, and
the official color?
I think I'm going to wear it quite often.
I
actually.
dig it.
It's really a comfortable shirt, but the color is pretty cool.
Yeah, it does have a little richer flavor to it, it looks like now.
Okay, so I saw Danny Briere at Whole Foods, and he was also wearing Flyers gear, and I was actually a little surprised that he wasn't like a little more undercover. But is this like a thing? Are you being told that you have to wear it out?
No,
in
no
public?
one's telling
Okay.
us, but it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
And it,
And why
it looks
not?
kind of nice, and that's who we are. We're the Flyers, and we want to make sure that we're back on the map and being talked about.
And the thing about a color change is that it is not an overnight decision. I found this out with the Eagles and the Kelly Green and all that, this is probably a few years in the making, is it not?
Yeah, I would say so. Again, I'm arriving new on it, so
Yeah.
I wasn't on the original planning of this, but I think it's a great idea.
It is.
It does kind of tie back into our history, which is great. But it also gives us the idea that we need to move forward as well, but pay homage to the people that have done so much for us in the past.
Keith, you touched on something that a lot of people don't consider when it comes to merchandise. Comfort.
Yes.
Okay. So we have stressed to our own company here. Get comfortable T-shirts.
Tri-blend.
Out loud. Tri-blend.
Tri-blend, damn
the
it.
super soft stuff. People will pay extra money for comfort.
They will.
I'm telling you. And then they'll actually wear it.
By the way, some of the best swag I've ever gotten is Flyers-related stuff.
Yes.
Comfortable, good. We still talk about, to this day, we at one point received complimentary Phillies underwear. It's the greatest underwear ever made.
I would love
It's
a
the
pair of
greatest
those.
underwear ever made.
They talk about the underwear all the time.
I've had my one single pair.
I still have my pair.
How long is it? 8, 9 years?
I pull it out like the
that?
Shroud of Turin. I mean, unbelievable.
But
So
it's
we
super
approve.
soft. Yeah.
But Jonesy, I got to tell you, so I did not grow up a hockey fan. My parents were not into it. My son has made us a hockey fan. His dad also not really a hockey fan. We went to Flyers game this past season. We've got the merchandise. We're buying everything. I just got the email this morning from the middle school hockey team. He signed up for hockey, and I'm like, I can't believe we're a hockey family now. And he's making us this hockey family.
Yeah, it's pretty common. It is something that is really important, for people to play the game, get to know the game. The parents start to enjoy the game. The neighbors start to follow the kid that plays. And then you've got a bunch of fans from the same neighborhood that are enjoying Flyer hockey. That's the key. I mean, that's something that Mr. Snyder did so well in this community, was to start up rinks, the ability to offer it to people who have never played before. And that's one way that we can gain, more fans in this marketplace and really around the U.S. I mean, it's been a major thing. You look at some of the warm places now that are doing well, like Vegas winning the Stanley Cup.
Which
There's
sucks.
pop-up ring. It does.
Which sucks.
And I had to watch it up close. It
I
really
remember
sucked.
I've seen footage of their garbage cans melting on the street. It was so damn hot. And I'm like, how the hell are they winning hockey?
I know. Yeah, I had to go from Florida to Vegas, back to Florida.
No.
That part was fine. but
Right.
The hockey wasn't enjoyable.
Hey, you talk about, kids coming up and learning the sport. When you were a kid, what was that like? Because it can be very overwhelming, the amount of time that's spent when the ice time is available and the amount of money you have to pay for equipment and stuff like that.
So I grew up with the luxury of having outdoor rinks.
Right.
So where I went to school, my public school had a tennis court that in the winter was turned into an arena. The parents would put up boards. There would be someone that would flood the rink, one of the kids' fathers in the neighborhood or mothers. And then you would skate on that. We actually had lights. I'm like, we're talking 1974. And there was lights where we could play, and I played forever.
Yeah.
And then you could skate home because the street was covered in ice. Like, it was
cool.
That was such a, it was such a benefit to be able to do that. And I was so young when I learned how to skate. I don't remember learning how to skate.
Well, in my almost 48 years living in this area, that has only happened here one time. Where you could
skate out on the street?
Where you could skate out on the street. And that was like in the late 90s,
Yeah, I
something
remember
like that. That's the only time I can remember that was even possible.
I would love to. We've talked about this many times on the show. I have the ankles of James Caan in Misery, so I can't.
Some would say I did as well.
But it's like it's such a great sport just for people who are drawn to it on that. On the matter of the color and the importance of a rebrand, there's something about it psychologically that does make a difference. And in your estimation, how prominent is that move in the whole zeitgeist of the Flyers?
Yeah, it really works for where we're at right now.
Yeah.
We are rebuilding. I mean, we have a lot of work to do. And there's been things that have not been done properly here. We want to correct those. We want to, execute on what our plan is. And this kind of ties in nicely with it, kind of a fresh start as far as that goes. We're asking people to be patient, but we want them to be comfortable. So wear our gear while we get back on track.
Damn right.
I'm a lifelong fan, Keith. I was lucky enough to go to the Stanley Cup Finals in 1987 with my dad. I remember the Spectrum vividly. And it's an interesting time to be a Flyers fan because I have a lot of high hopes for you and a lot of high hopes for Briere. Torts seems to get it, gets the culture, gets the team. When you come in with this role and you're talking with Danny Briere, and you look at them, there are a few successes over the last few years, but not making the playoffs is obviously a failure. So what is your mindset? Do you look at it and say, I want to blow this whole thing up, or here are 4 or 5 parts that I can take into the next season and know that they're going to be successful? How do you look at a big picture and figure out what I want to get rid of and what I want to keep?
Yeah, it's more about the 4 or 5 things. It's not like you have to blow this thing up. And I think Danny was pretty clear on that.
Yeah.
There's a plan. I mean, there's things that we can do to get ourselves back in the conversation. And then when we get there, we want to be there for a long time. So in order to do that, we can't take any shortcuts. But we have some very good pieces in place. You mentioned John Tortorella. The things that he did last year to get this thing started in the right direction, to have the team play with a lot more pride, with a lot more energy, with a lot more attitude.
And accountability.
And accountability being the key thing. That's been established now, and now that will continue to grow. We know which players can play under that system, and we want to find more parts for him to be able to implement his coaching style to bring success. And I think that's going to happen, but it is going to take some time to make some of those adjustments.
Yeah, I think it's pretty rare that there's any sort of regime changes, whether it be a coach, GM, or president, when an organization is in good condition.
Correct.
So, the Flyers were at the end of the last season, were in terrible shape, and they changed everything, right? So because of the and I hate to be so blunt with this, but because of the bleak future that the organization was in, did that scare you off, or did that?
No, it
or
attracted.
It attracted you.
It attracted me. The timing was right, and I was equally as frustrated as the fans because when you're covering the team and you're doing the games, you're living and dying by that. You have a very good broadcast when your team wins.
Yeah,
your broadcast is no good when your team loses.
Right.
I mean, that's
you got a vested interest.
It is.
Yeah.
And, for JJ and myself to be doing the games and. Timmy Saunders and Coatsy last year. That's very difficult. You take every loss home with you. And, I had an escape because I was doing the national stuff. For the guys that are just doing local, that's painful.
Yeah.
We want to make that better for them, give them more stories to talk about, more positives to build on, and win. And that winning part is going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah. What in the locker room? You guys call it a dressing room, though, don't you?
Yeah, I like locker room, though.
Yeah.
I'm more, I guess I've been
sounds
here.
like the stage is.
Have you ever considered bordello?
That's been considered, but not going to be recommended.
There's a lot of pride, and I think that pride starts early on in these guys' careers and stuff. So, getting out onto the ice, I don't think these guys lack pride for themselves, for their team, or whatever, but there's an intersection of pride and ability.
Yep.
And so sometimes, all the pride in the world can't beat the ability on the other side.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
No, I would agree with that. And that's what we need to address. We need talent.
Yeah.
We have some. We need more. And to win, you need a lot of it.
Yeah.
It changes every year, the team that wins. And I've had the benefit of watching up close the Stanley Cup final for the last, 16 or 17 years. I was right there at ice level this year to watch what Vegas did. This year was a little bit of a throwback type season where a big team, won. Big blue lines win. You know, there's an old saying that mass kicks ass. And it does.
Yeah.
And this year it proved to be true. But you need a combination of a lot of different elements, but the blue line really matters in our game.
Well, it was an interesting season because, Vegas had a really good regular season and Florida barely made it into the playoffs. And then Florida had this incredible run to make it to the finals, played well in the finals. Kachuk played out of his gourd, which was fun to watch as a hockey fan. But it also gives Flyers fans hope because you know that if you can make it to the playoffs, sometimes everything clicks. You get a good goalie like Florida. Bobrovsky was just unbelievable this postseason. So when you're covering the postseason and watching these elite teams do as well as they're doing, where does the president mind kick in versus the broadcaster mind?
So my mind would be we want to do it and do it often. Vegas is going to do it again.
Yeah.
Vegas has been doing it since they ended. They did miss the playoffs last year, which was a bit of a fluke. Florida did it by getting in really in the last game of the year. Pittsburgh choked the last two games. I don't know that that's sustainable for Florida. I'd rather be like Vegas. I want to get to a point where we are going to be in the mix, for consecutive seasons. We want to build that and then eventually get there. I think there's less likely that Florida does that. We have their first round draft pick next year, so let's hope they don't do it.
Yeah, seriously.
That'd be a good thing.
I think the whole country, they were pulling for Vegas because, we just felt so bad because that organization never had a Stanley Cup in their long history.
6-year history.
6-year history.
Isn't it crazy?
But by the way, their garbage cans melt.
Yes, they do.
Remember that.
Yes, they do.
That's not where you win hockey.
There's a lot of things melt in Vegas.
Yeah. We don't want that. Is the goal of all this to get an invite to Bernie Perron's fishing boat?
Yes, it is. And that's not easy to get to. That guy is a beautiful man, as he tells everybody it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, we love Bernie.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hockey legends, and I think Marissa just sent over this audio, Preston, but Wayne Gretzky said some really nice things about you. And you guys have worked together for a while, which is really cool. But it's still the great one saying nice things about you, and we should play the audio, and then I want to get your reaction to it.
When was it?
It was at the end of the Stanley Cup Finals, at the end of the season, and Gretzky paused the broadcast because he wanted to say nice things about Jonesy, which I thought was really sweet.
I got it right here. Here we go.
But listen, I wanted to say to Jonesy, good luck to you, man. We're all going to miss you, and we know you're going to do a great job in Philadelphia. And I know Mr. Snyder's looking down, and he knows you got the right guy to do that job. Good luck to you, Jonesy.
Wow.
That's
the first time I heard that. I left. As soon as the game ended, I left because I wasn't doing the interviews of all the players that just won the Stanley Cup. It would have made me sick. So, that's the first time I heard it. It's incredible. You know, he is a very good friend. He was a very good friend of Mr. Snyder. They were neighbors. He almost came to Philadelphia. He almost came to play for the Flyers.
Are you serious?
Yeah. When he ended up going to New York, he's told me the story many times. He was. He thought he was coming to Philadelphia.
Oh,
yeah, crazy, right?
Yes.
But they became great friends. He's, very involved in a lot of charities. He loves the Flyers.
Is it possible to get his stud services?
Exactly. That is not. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm in the horse racing business, so I know what you're saying. Often wondered that.
So that would have been during your playing time. You could have played with him.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly right. Yeah, no, I wasn't here at that time in Philly. I was in Colorado, but yeah, there's no question that, and he holds our team and our franchise in high esteem, and he wants us to get back to being an important franchise, and so does we are a very important franchise for our league.
Yeah.
And it's something that we have to take very seriously.
Yeah, the Flyers not in the postseason just doesn't make sense to me at all. It's not right.
I know what you're saying. I made the point. I mean, so I'm from New York, and I remember one of my favorite delicatessens to go to, this is in New York, was laid out in Flyers.
Yeah.
The team transcends. My brothers-in-law, who are all up in New York, love the Flyers. So that's, to that point, it is this thing that translates across. If we, and obviously, you have your modus operandi, where you're going. But to restore that would be just amazing.
It's one of the greatest feelings I had when I arrived in Philadelphia. I was so amazed that I was being traded here, and I talked to Bobby Clark on the phone from Colorado, and he's like, we play Florida. I remember the conversation. We play Florida tonight. We don't need you for that one. We play the Devils tomorrow night. Make sure you get here. It's like, okay, I'll be there. And I remember landing and looking at the city. I landed at night. It was like a Friday night. And I'm looking over the city as I'm coming in. I'm going, I wonder what this is going to go like.
Yeah.
And, here I am today because of those guys.
It's crazy.
I grew up in St. Louis, so I'm a lifelong Blues fan. But me and my best friend Steve, our second favorite team were the Flyers. And do you want to know why I think it is? The orange uniforms. I don't know why, but I think it is. And we have brand new uniforms, actually, that Keith brought in this morning.
And the Blues have so much to do with the identity that the Flyers, had, the toughness. They learned that from St. Louis. It was the Blues that beat them up early on, and Mr. Snyder said, this isn't going to happen again.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And that's really where the Broad Street Bullies started. Now, the game's different today. It's much more difficult to have that complete style of play, but you can have players that perform, with grit and toughness combined with skill and have a very good team. So.
I have two hockey stories that involve Preston that always make me smile. The first is in 2010 when we got to go down to the finals and be in that atmosphere. And that was a surprising team. We didn't expect them to make the finals. They made the playoffs on the last day of the season. Mm-hmm. And being in that environment, and I remember just looking at you and seeing the smile and looking around and seeing Philadelphia embrace the Flyers. Yep. And then the second is when you got to go back to your hometown in 2019 and see the parade for the Blues. Mm-hmm. And that's a cool thing that as a Flyers fan, I'm a bit jealous of, but we know that Flyers fans will embrace this team when they start performing.
And mind you, that team went from worst to first in that season. It was really weird. So things can flip around.
That team beat the Flyers on January 3rd, and that's when their season turned around. And they were singing their song down at one of the bars.
Right. Yeah, Gloria.
And that was Craig Berube, that coaches that team still to this day, the former Flyer coach and obviously player and teammate of mine. I spent that final with him. And it's the only time that I had gone down to a locker room after the cup was presented because he's one of my best friends. Nice. So that was a pretty cool thing to see. but it's something that we want to reenact it here, and he can come down and visit me.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Let me tell you the wonderful aspect. I'm a big Halloween guy, so the orange color is a win-win.
Yeah.
And the burnt orange I like as well, because that actually works even better for horror, because it suggests a catastrophe of something set it on fire, which is great. But all of that stuff combined with gritty and all the how comprehensive is this rebrand going to be? Will Gritty now be an aristocrat?
That's a great question.
With a monocle.
Gritty's kind of everywhere, as you guys know.
Right.
It's been a really important part, of getting the messaging out. But
and he was excoriated when the second.
Yes. I remember the day it came out. I remember when the news came out and everyone looked at me. I was at NBC at the time, and they're like, "What is this?"
Yes. And then it turned around.
Yeah,
like a rocket.
And then and now we need the team to become more important than him.
Than Gritty.
That's really what it becomes.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
Yeah, no, but it's a great all the way around. So we know you got to get out of here, so we'll wrap things up. But thank you for bringing by the new design on the.
They're pretty sharp.
Yeah, they look great.
They hit it.
Yeah. The numbers are going to be more prevalent on the sleeve. It'd be easier to identify.
For JJ, he'll be happy about that.
Yes. Well, it's hard to do.
He's getting up there now.
Yes, he is. And he's not shy to complain. Believe me.
There's only so much a seeing eye dog can tell you.
Correct.
But we're stoked about the retooling in management and you being president and obviously Danny as GM and we're hoping for great things. So.
Yeah, we are as well.
We'll talk to you through the season, I'm
Thank
sure.
You.
Yes.
Excellent.
Great
Thank
to be
you.
here. Thank you.
Keith Jones, guys, president. There's his music, yes. President of the Flyers. We are going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. We're going live on Fox Good Day when we return, so stay with us. Bizarre File coming up too.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
And questions contextually went to Google.
I can't stand when I ask Siri a question and she just gives me a bunch of websites to go to. I'm like, dude, just give me.
Do not like that. However, though, Google Assistant will most often default to Wikipedia.
There are obviously silly, ridiculous things that you don't need it for, but you use it for anyway.
I still do, yeah.
What do you think for you is the most practical purpose for using any of these?
Honestly, for the when I'm sitting, for example, if I'm sitting and I'm setting up something for the media. I'm watching TV or whatever, and I'm looking down at something, or I need the lights on, or I'm turning lights on and off.
Okay.
Playing music, playing
I think that's
the radio.
What I would use it for.
Playing. I walk into a room. I constantly use it for weather. I constantly use it. I'll get a quick news update.
Yep.
So I'm interfacing it with that. And if you look at if you find out on your app on your phone. It'll tell you your last 70 requests, and mine are always sort of the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, it records everything, so you can find out every single request that you've asked.
I am using them all the time throughout the day.
But you know what? Like, you're busy, Steve. I know somebody, Nick, who can probably come over to your place, who I think is in between gigs right now. Gary Lauer is not doing anything right now. His house is closed.
You know what? Honestly, you don't even need an echo. Just have Gary hands.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot out there.
Just have your own Gary.
I'll turn it on for you. Lights on.
All right.
Hey, Gary, lights on.
All right, 1 second. There you go. Gary, should I wear a sweater outside? I'll be right back. It's pretty chilly. Lauer.
Yeah,
Lauer.
That's what it would be.
Yeah.
Hey, Lauer.
Because Gary would be too common.
Hey, Lauer, play Allman Brothers. Lauer, switch to Skinnerd.
Hey, Lauer.
Yes. Switch to Killers. Somebody told me.
All right.
Hey, Lauer, play MMR.
Well, don't you have to kind of have like a bing bong prompt?
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, Lauer. Working.
Play Summer Breeze by Seals and Crofts.
Summer Breeze.
I met a guy.
Bill parties hard.
I met a guy.
Let's do some heroin.
At our gig the other night who is Bill's neighbor. And he told me you should hear Bill at church because Bill is a lector.
He's a lector, yes.
And so he speaks at church. Could you imagine being at church and you hear the other people that are kind of speaking like this, and Bill steps up to the microphone.
And then Jesus.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
Said Peter, you'll be the third leg of the stool.
Yes.
The word of the Lord.
The Romans are the low-hanging fruit in this scenario. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do.
David actually slung some fruit instead of a rock.
Who had the roast beef?
But,
I give this resurrection an A+.
But listen, when in my short amount of time that I was going to a Catholic church, my wife is Catholic, and the priest initially spoke at such a level, and you guys know my hearing.
Oh, yeah.
I sat there. I'm like, what am I even doing here?
What is he saying?
What is the point of me being
Honestly?
here? I don't hear anything.
You would want a Bill Weston. You'd want someone who projects.
Yeah. It was just I'm like, the whole time I think this is a waste of time.
Listen to me, Preston.
Yeah.
We've got a priest at our parish that performs each Sunday.
Oh, it's about him then, huh?
He's very nice. He shakes everybody's hand afterwards, and he's a nice. But it's.
I'm going to improve
you want
on
a
the
show,
Word of God.
and you want to be able to hear. You can come to my church, Preston.
Right.
Okay.
Does he do close-up magic as well?
No, but he's interactive.
Yeah,
the kids get to come up on.
Watch me kick the cap off this box. Now, as Jesus kicked the Canaanites.
Steve, he kicks the bottle. He kicks the cap off of the wine.
Snuffs out the candles.
That could work too.
Yes.
That could work too. I mean, who wouldn't find that entertaining?
Kicking a few Eucharists into the mouth. Watch this.
When I was on
Hold that Eucharist up about just so. You can travel down a street named after you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think a statue would be more awesome.
You like a statue?
I think
on top of a horse with a raised sword?
Yeah, with rearing
That's
up.
Preston Elliott.
Yeah, rearing up both of its front hooves in the air.
Yes.
I'd love to have that.
Wait a second.
He fought in the Civil War?
What does that mean? There's a difference.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean nothing.
There was a long-standing myth, at least this is what I've read, that it would depend on if there was one leg raised or two, whether they died in battle or, but...
Oh, I heard completely other.
Apparently that's
I heard gay, not gay.
You're gay or not gay?
Gay general. Gay general. Oh, she's on one foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, this general was gay because both the horses' front hooves are up. I don't think that's accurate. No, trust me.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I read a book.
Yeah.
What does it mean when all four hooves are on the ground?
Polyamorous.
Yeah, exactly. They could anything.
Anything goes.
They're just looking for love. All right, so they're gonna fix that.
By curious. If they're standing alongside the horse.
Thank you, Kathy. You know what's interesting is sometimes when just by knowing that something still exists, even though you don't really use something any longer, can be comforting. And then when you find out when that thing is going away, even though you haven't used it for a long time, it's very sad.
What?
Mad Magazine is going to stop publishing issues this fall.
Yeah.
And we were subscribing a few years ago, like 3-4 years ago. My kids, like one of them picked up, saw a Mad Magazine, got it, liked it, and I'm like, oh, done deal. We're signing up for this. I love Mad Magazine. Mm-hmm. And we haven't been subscribers for a couple of years. But when I heard this, I was so bummed out. I loved Mad as a kid. It was just my favorite thing to get in the mail.
Likewise, Mad Magazine was the best. I also got Cracked Magazine.
Yeah, I did too.
Then I progressed into the National Lampoon.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, and that helped instruct my comedic chops along the way. So many comedians, so many people, just people in general who love humor, loved Mad Magazine because it was a subversive comic book for kids. Adults read it too, but it was obviously...
Yeah, because it would flirt with adult material.
It would, all the time.
Not blue material, but it would...
Political movie parody, stuff like that. But it was very cool. And it had a litany of great artists and features. Spy versus Spy. You had...
Don Martin.
Mort Drucker, Al Jaffe. The fold out, the fold in, as they called it in the back, you would have a picture, you could fold it to become another picture. Alfred E. Neumann, of course, a legendary character. They had the TV series. But man, when that would come in the mail,
Do you still subscribe to any magazines? You get magazines at
last
home?
magazine I used to get at home was because we signed up for one of our family members was selling subscriptions, so we're getting Entertainment Weekly, and then that sort of went away. But in my heyday, I subscribed. I used to get Famous Monsters of Filmland, Starlog, Fangoria, National Lampoon. I was getting lots of magazines at home. Fairly frequently.
I used to get Entertainment Weekly for work.
Oh, yeah.
I used to get that, but I still subscribe to a couple. I'm Golf Digest and Golf Magazine.
There you go.
I still want the hard copy magazine in there. I have a hard time reading magazines, a full magazine online. You know what I mean?
On the crapper.
Now articles, I can see, picking up here and there through aggregator sites and stuff like that. But if I want to dive into a full magazine, what they have to offer, I still need the hard copy. So, did you ever subscribe to dirty magazines? Because I did. The only one I ever had.
Playboy.
I had a prescription. God knows I needed it.
Son, you need something for your boner. Take 2 Hustlers and at night cut it in half. Cut Beaver magazine in half.
I had a subscription to Playboy, but that's the only one that I could ever. That one I could get away with.
You could,
but
You're not embarrassed about it,
I couldn't
right?
subscribe. Penthouse, maybe. But then when you get into your Hustlers and We and, whatever the other magazines Cherry.
Wouldn't it blow your mind that people would get home delivery? Because I remember, there were subscription cards in these things for the other magazines. Like, who's getting Sweaty Vagina magazine at home? Here's your bills, and that looks like a good issue. Now, obviously, they would seal them specifically for the mailing, but still, you could tell what it was.
I never had subscriptions. The only one that I had were there's other two I mentioned earlier, but I was totally into scary movies when I was younger. So Fangoria, what was the other one?
There was Fangoria, there was Starlog, there was Famous Monsters of Filmland, there was, like I said, the Monster Times was another one of them. Another one, am I missing them?
You're missing one. There was Fangoria, not Fantasia. It was
Biggins?
Jugs, and they're
areolas.
People that are reminding us the names of
Butthole.
Some of the other. I subscribe to Butthole magazine.
What's this one about?
It's a picture of a guy with a pipe. I'm a butthole reader. For this Christmas, give Dad what he wants. Butthole.
Steve, what are you reading?
I'm reading Butthole, Preston. She's telling me how I can set up my stereo. Apparently, you have to run the cords through your butthole.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what are you reading there?
Oh, I was just reading Butthole magazine, telling me how to get a more effective home theater. Apparently works better if you put the cord through your butthole.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this is the 10 tastiest cheeses for the holidays. Many of them are better if you put them in your butthole. Some guy with an ascot on.
Everything.
Lord Buddington.
An ascot.
And butthole. An abscot. Oh my God. Okay. You know what? I think now that I'm reminiscing, fondly about Butthole magazine. No, I'm pretty certain it had to have been Mad Magazine. Had to have been my very first subscription to anything.
I'm going to say likewise.
Yeah.
I loved it so much, and there's just. Do you remember when you would see something in it, and it's not like you could do today. Obviously, you would look at this. You'd lend the magazine. And
I never read it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Unfortunately, the only thing that I know that what you're talking about is Alfred E. Neumann and that little thing in the back.
But Preston, so Case, not only would you have the picture in a lot of these cases, but what you would love is in the background there'd be like flies with little fly lines around them. Or there'd be these little things that they would do to just augment the picture that made it great.
Yeah, agreed. And
the artists were great.
There were almost little Easter eggs throughout as well, and outside of the frames
all
and
over
things
the
like
place.
that. Yeah. So you really had to. You could spend a lot of time reading the magazine. It wasn't just you pick it up and tear right through it. I mean, I would hang on to them and go back and see things that I would miss the first time around.
I remember laughing out loud, as a kid, and one of the first times really laughing that profoundly. And that carried over to National Lampoon, which, again, great memories of that. And Nick, you saw the documentary about.
Yeah, with Will Forte.
Yeah, and there
Phenomenal.
I remember they did a piece on, it was an old-style brochure for the largest ocean liner ever built. I think it was called the Tyrannic. And the artist illustrations were done in that sort of Art Deco style, where, I mean, they drew the ship on such an enormous scale that you were just howling with laughter.
Yeah.
You can't describe it. You have to see it. But to have that reaction from a magazine that you're sitting there, to read something and laugh that loudly is just, you don't get that.
Mad Magazine had published 550 issues prior to its reboot, by the way, which was in 2018, I believe. DC purchased Mad Magazine in 2017, but they're going to hang it up. At its height, it had 2.8 million subscribers.
Now, they took
which was in like 1973, I think.
They took a big hit when editor Max Sherman went over to handle the chores at Butthole. And,
yes, exactly.
Do you know what you're getting into over there at Butthole?
Oh, my God. Butthole Magazine. Someday.
Yeah, I'm curating their wine list.
Yeah.
Apparently, it tastes better when you drink it from someone's butthole.
But it's sad. It's sad that it's going away, even though I haven't, actively been a subscriber for a couple of years. But nonetheless. Anything from Silicon Valley to Patriots Day to Crazy Rich Asians to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jimmy O Yang.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jimmy?
Morning. I'm doing well. It's
Excellent.
great.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Patriots Day, you were fantastic in.
Thank you so much. Sadly, not a lot of people watched it.
Your character was the one who was kidnapped, held hostage by those guys, and eventually escaped and alerted the police. Hey, I know where these guys are. I know who they are. I didn't know that story.
Yeah, that guy was amazing.
Yeah.
Danny Mang, Chinese immigrant, college student, and this is about, of course, the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah.
And I bugged him every other day. Spoiler alert, he stays alive, in the movie.
Yeah.
So I bugged him every day when I was in Boston, and we had dinner, went to Chinatown every other day. He was a really nice, warm guy, and he came to the premiere and tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, hey, I think you did a great job.
There
was
you
nice.
go.
Is stand-up comedy where you kind of started, or acting, or where'd you begin?
That's where everything started. I started doing stand-up at the Ha Ha Comedy Club.
WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. We got a couple of minutes to play with before we go live on Fox Good Day, which is a Wednesday thing that we do. I'll take this moment to remind you we do have a secret text word. Today we have your chance to win a pair of tickets. Oh, we have I turned that up. I thought they wouldn't be on yet, but all right. Anyway, we have a chance for you to win a pair of tickets as MMR Rocks, Tina Fey, and Amy Poehler. The Restless Leg Tour, which is going to be Thursday, December 14th. By the way, tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m.
Nice.
If you want to win them ahead of time, text the word SECRET to 39333. We'll send that word back to you, see if you win in a little bit, and we'll grab a random text or two. And something I forgot to do, I should have done a little while back because Marissa took the bouquet away. But we had this lovely bouquet of flowers that we got over a week ago. They've been sitting here.
Where'd they come from?
They came from Polite's Florist. And they sent over this beautiful bouquet, which I think spruced up the joint a little bit.
It looked very. Now I miss it.
I think it's Polites.
Okay.
I might be mispronouncing it, but I think we said it, and then people said that. I think we said Polites, and we all agreed that that's how it was pronounced, and then I believe people said, actually, it's Polites, but I could be wrong.
I think okay, now I may be wrong. Is this how you spell Polites? Polites? Yes.
All right, let's just listen
Is
to...
Polites even a word?
I don't know.
Let's
Okay.
listen to the commercial real quick.
Polites.
30 seconds.
Hi, Helena Pilates here, fourth generation owner of
Ladies.
Pilates, a local family
Okay, so anyhow, they said that they have been a big fan since the Y100 days. Thanks for being the best part of our mornings. Sincerely, Helena, who we just heard there.
Nice.
And the Pilates Florist team. So, sorry I butchered your name. And thank you so much. That was really nice. Flowers are lovely, aren't they?
They
Yes,
will spruce up any. Look at Kathy. She's got a garden over here on her side of the
I just cut some hydrangea down and put them inside.
They smell nice?
Pretty.
Brought them inside.
Yes.
Is that nice?
Put them in vases. I did centerpieces.
I'm gonna have to show you guys. We have a vegetable garden going on at our house, and it's
as a centerpiece.
So cool to watch. No, but I mean just growing stuff in general.
It is cool.
So we're growing cucumbers,
Oh.
and they start off as little bitty, itty bitty, tiny little, fully formed cucumbers. But I mean they're like less than an inch long,
And then whoopah.
It's adorable. And we have cabbage. And beans and tomatoes and some herbs.
What kind of seeds are you using? Using the
Burpees?
burpees?
Well, yeah, I think the beans my dad brought from Kentucky because he's been growing those for years. The tomatoes were already the preliminary plants, so they had already started growing. We have 2 minutes left, Marissa. Is that what that is? All right. And then I think the cucumbers were burpee seeds and. But we went to this place called Ott's nearby.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I love Ott's.
It's right around the corner from where I live. And we had the cabbage already starting to grow, the preliminary.
It is cool to have that stuff move along. And I remember in school we would grow things. They'd to show us how that would happen.
And I also want to mention, oh my God, I'm forgetting.
What is it? What is it? You can do it.
It's the name of the place that had Branchy, the tree.
Oh, the tree, Christmas tree place.
Look it up.
It was in Westchester,
it's not,
right?
No. It's right.
No?
It's in my area.
Branchy.
It's why do I not County Line?
County Line.
And I'd stop by there, and the girl who sent the email about Branchy was there, and she was just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here." I'm like, I've been here a bunch of times, but I've never run into her, and she was so excited.
Branchy was a great
and loves the Preston and Steve shows. Yeah, so it's County Line Nursery, and they're on Route 73. No, 113. I'm sorry. God, I'm all over the freaking place today. Okay. I think it was Natalie was her name. She was super duper sweet. And I was buying my tomato cages. Branchy.
She's a great story.
The Christmas tree.
Yeah.
But it was great, and I'm loving growing stuff. It's a lot of fun.
You're like a farmer now. You become an agrarian lifestyle.
How about that? All right, so we got about 15 seconds, and we're going to go live on Fox Good Day. Oh God!
No, you said folks.
I
said folks.
I said almost Fox. Fox Good Day. And I think we might be bringing up the topic today. I'm not sure.
We don't know what the hell's going on.
We'll find out.
If we don't have a slap echo, we'll be happy.
We'll hear music any moment, and here it comes.
All right, let's get to Preston and Steve and their annoying coworkers. And their coworkers.
Yes. Annoying.
Hi, Preston. Hi, Steve.
Good morning. Nice to see you guys.
Let's be honest with each other. What pet peeves do you have with Kathy?
Oh. Wow. Kathy's pet peeves. She just,
Thanks, Mike.
She's very gassy.
I was going to say the smell. I wasn't going to be specific, but
they're not going to say anything. That's the problem here. Nobody wants to address anything.
Well,
and also I'm perfect. So
that's it. Yeah, she's been told. What would you think? What would you say you think we find annoying about you? Let's take it from that angle.
I mean, I think I can be moody sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but so can other people in the room. So, but I think maybe that's it. Like because sometimes I'll even catch myself. I'm like, I'm being moody, and they didn't do anything. So reel it back in.
All right. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
What about you guys?
Who? I can be moody. What's that supposed to mean?
Moody? No.
Wow.
But usually you can tell what mood I'm in by 2 minutes past 5 o'clock in the morning when we meet.
Yes.
Right?
I know what kind of day it's going to be. And it doesn't always last.
No.
Throughout the entire, duration of the workday.
Okay, but let's get back to Preston.
Okay, all right.
Do you openly talk about your pet peeves?
No, not our pet peeves, but we can openly talk about each other behind that other person's back when they're not in the room.
I said
That's
it at
not
the
a problem.
beginning. You guys are that's the problem here. Nobody will say anything to anyone. Just wait for them to leave the room and then say it.
You got to pick the hill you're going to die on,
But the best part about it is I think that we know that we talk about each other behind our backs, and it's whatever,
Gosh.
It's just, reality.
Yeah, you do it, Alex, with Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah. Mike probably knows the people you go to when you want to complain about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you two have known each other all these years.
Yeah.
Will you discuss. Oh, Preston, don't do that. It really annoys me.
No. No, there's not much that really annoys me. I wouldn't even say really annoys me. There are things that are inherent in people that you like and don't like.
Yeah.
And he has them about me, and I have them about him.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to, why?
Yeah, as long as we understand that.
Hey, let's change the dynamic here because we don't want to be number one. Let's screw with it because we really need to fix this.
Would you say that you two love each other?
Yes, of course. Yeah, not in a broke back way, but in a deep way.
Yeah.
Do you guys love each other?
Do you guys love each other?
Yeah.
Do you guys love each other in a 9.5 weeks kind of way?
Sure. I'd like to sit in a open refrigerator and eat.
Feed things to Alex? Sure.
I fantasize about that, sure.
Yeah. Nice.
I do love him.
Aww.
There's no question about
No.
Well, why don't you show us now with some PDA?
Make out.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Is that it? We're done?
I think we're done. Well, we'll make out while you watch this.
Oh, no.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right. We will see you later. All right. Let's see. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, I didn't get a chance to do then, is that we have a new Daily Rush video, and it's titled Nell Karaoke.
Nell Karaoke.
It says here, we call it Nellyoke because Syed Alan Kankan is too hard to say. You can check this out today. It's sponsored by Xfinity's Gig Speed Internet. Internet. And
it's
you can
more permissible.
Learn more at xfinity.com. And you can watch it now, WMMR.com/Daily Rush.
Nell, I know more people have actually gone to, or at least rented the movie Nell just to see what, because we constantly refer to, this is a movie, if you're unfamiliar, Jodie Foster plays this woman who's basically been raised by her I think it was her grandmother, who in the woods, and her grandmother had a stroke and had a bizarre speech pattern, and then she died, and so Liam Neeson's in it, and so she has this kind of language that she uses, which can be distracting.
Yeah,
throughout the
people
movie.
couldn't communicate with her, and that's what Liam Neeson had to find out, was how to communicate with her.
Real quick,
like a moron.
Did you see that Liam Neeson is doing a Naked Gun reboot?
No.
Yeah, I just saw this yesterday. I meant to bring it up to you guys, and I totally forgot.
Well, he has to play it straight. That's what made it so great.
Exactly.
That Frank Drebin,
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen played it straight.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know much more beyond that. But Steve, you and I laughed out loud at Liam Neeson in Ted. Or was that Ted 2?
Ted 2. He's at the supermarket at the checkout aisle, and it's hilarious. You know what? I think he can do it. What he did with Ricky Gervais was good. However, Leslie Nielsen had developed a skill set. By the way, the genius of the original Airplane movie, it was that they used actors who had not done comedy but who were stoic. Robert Stack, Lloyd Bridges, Chuck Connors, and Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen was a leading man, in his heyday.
Who was the guy that was the pilot? Graves? That was his last name, right?
Peter Graves.
Peter Graves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mission Impossible.
They were all straight actors.
Super straight. Yeah.
So one of the writers on The Naked Gun, it's Frank Drebin Jr. He plays Leslie Nielsen's character's son, and one of the writers is Seth MacFarlane, so obviously from Family Guy, and the director is a guy named Akiva Schaffer.
Oh yeah,
we've had Akiva in studio.
Lonely Island.
He's one of the Lonely Island guys, yeah, and he's great too. So
that's good news.
This could be pretty good.
That's good news.
Steve, you know what I liked, and I know we're going to get to the bizarre file in just a second here, but was when Harry Morgan was in the Dragnet movie, because Harry Morgan was on the original Dragnet TV show.
Yes, yeah.
I loved him in that. And he had already done comedy, obviously, with MASH, but he had done straight detective stuff before, and he was playing that character in Dragnet, which I thought was a pretty funny movie.
The iconic Jack Webb delivery, who was, who produced and all that, and they just, sort of monotone, back and forth.
Mm-hmm. And Aykroyd pulled that off. All right, this has been Screen Chat with Preston and Steve Show, and now we do the Bizarre File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought in this morning by Sequoia Outback. You can make your deck or outside space a source of comfort and pride. Shop 4th of July sale at Sequoia Outback, Route 309 in Hatfield, or at decksupplies.com. I don't know how I missed this story in our city, but Philadelphia police, and this is why I put it in the bizarre file because I haven't really seen it in the news, but Philadelphia police are investigating after several teens reportedly attempted to light sticks of dynamite inside a grocery store.
I missed the dynamite story.
It happened yesterday at the Fresh Grocer located on the 5300 block of Chew Avenue in the city's Germantown section.
Was this, though, they do have that Dynamite Days promotion.
Police say security called to report that 3 teens, roughly 16 to 19 years old, wearing all black clothing, trying to light up the dynamite. The bomb squad did recover dynamite at the scene, but police say the suspects were able to get away. Police have not said how many people were inside the business at the time of the incident.
I'm finding it troubling that they're walking around with dynamite.
No physical injuries were reported. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Now, I'm wondering if it's, M80s, which are considered a quarter stick of dynamite, and maybe they're pumping this story up by using the term dynamite or not. But if it is actual dynamite, that's really dangerous.
Right.
That's insane.
I would like to get clarification on that because you're right. A quarter stick of dynamite for fireworks.
I mean, an M80 can hurt.
Yeah.
You can, get injured clearly, but dynamite is, that's a different story. All right, a man is dead after attempting to carjack a Louisville Metro police officer. So probably not a good idea to carjack police officers.
I'm new to this.
Officers with the department's...
I know for a fact you had a car.
Fugitive unit were conducting an investigation. At around 1:30 p.m., a man believed to be in his 20s attempted to carjack the officers with a gun. The suspect was shot by an officer who had been with the department for more than a decade. Officers
What kind of car is this that has a shotgun on the down?
Officers then began rendering aid, and the man was transported to the hospital but died shortly after. State police will be handling the investigation. The wanted individual who the fugitive unit was initially looking for was arrested after turning himself in. They saw him shoot the guy and said, "I give up," probably.
Oh, my God.
But I don't know. I doubt it was a marked car, but that's pretty stupid. Okay, how about this? A moose in Steamboat Springs, Colorado has died after it jumped from a second-story deck.
Okay.
This is a moose.
Okay, they're huge.
Yes.
I might assume that they could do that.
A Sunday, I'm just wondering how it got up on the second story.
Why don't you forget the moose?
I'm guessing a frat party?
For a moment.
On Sunday, Rangers responded to a call about a moose at the Steamboat Spring ski resort. When they arrived, Rangers discovered that a moose had apparently jumped off the second-story deck of a building.
I know what happened.
Broken its neck and died from the injuries.
It probably met a woman at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
And like you, Preston, pretending that you were vomiting. Yeah.
You know what? It may tie into the second story I have here in just a second.
Okay.
By the way, they could not confirm if the moose was agitated or how close it was to people when the incident happened. Rangers removed the moose from the resort and donated its body. Additional details were not available. Last week, the
CPW raining moose.
The CPW found a dead mother moose near Steamboat Springs, and cause of death has not been determined in that case. Now, this story is also out of Colorado, and I saw the picture. And it's a short story here, though. But a bear in Colorado found itself in a bit of a situation in Steamboat Springs.
Same
area.
town. At the ski resort?
Now, listen, the bear was caught on video hanging by its claws from a second-story window. Steve, I think that the moose and the bear were having an affair.
I think you're right.
And the moose's husband came home.
The hell is this?
The bear had to crawl out the window and hang there.
Who's in here?
And distraught. Look at this. Look at the video of the
That's exactly it.
Oh, my God. So cute. Let him in.
It was finally able to leave by going back into the house and then out through another window on the ground level.
Oh, this is pretty smart.
So he got out of there.
Listen, in a second they could kill your ass, but they're adorable.
New York City police are on the hunt for a man accused of sneaking up on unsuspecting women and slashing their legs from behind in Manhattan before he disappeared into the subway system. Police say that he slashed 3 women in separate incidents up and down the subway system between 4 and 5 p.m. on Sunday. Around 4:15, police say the first victim was slashed in the right leg from behind at the 86th Street Lexington Avenue station as she was getting off a train. Moments later, the same man slashed a 48-year-old woman's right leg from behind as she was waiting for a southbound train which the suspect boarded before first responders arrived to treat the victims.
You could open up an artery doing that.
Police say the next attack took place at less than 20 minutes later on a number 4 train near the Brooklyn Bridge City Hall station downtown, targeting a 28-year-old woman who was sitting in a southbound car. She was rushed to the hospital with a severe wound to her left leg.
Kind of makes you nostalgic for just pushing them on the tracks.
Surveillance images released by the NYPD were taken as he left the scene of the attack downtown. And after he hopped a turnstile to exit the station, police said he was seen fleeing through another station at Chambers Street before he vanished. So they are looking for him.
Remember that story years ago where the guy had a needle? And
yes.
Remember that? He was sticking the needle in women's butts?
All right, here's the money shot story, I think. A restaurant, listen to this, guys. A restaurant chain in California enlisted a fake priest to take confessions from workers with the supposed father urging them to, quote, get their sins out by telling him if they'd been late for work or had stolen from their employer.
So the employer provided a priest to administer confession.
A fake priest.
A fake priest.
To get information from the employees if they had been late or stealing.
That's insane.
This is according to the U.S. Department of Labor. The restaurant owner, Che Garibaldi.
Maybe I should try that.
Operates 2 Tequila Garibaldi restaurants in Sacramento and 1 in Roseville. The alleged priest also asked workers if they harbored bad intentions toward their employer, or if they'd done anything to harm the company, said the agency, which called it one of the most shameless scams that labor regulators had ever seen. The Diocese of Sacramento also investigated the issue and said that it found no evidence of connection between the priest and its jurisdiction. So hiring an allegedly fake priest to solicit confessions wasn't the restaurant chain's only wrongdoing. According to the government officials, a court last month ordered Che Garibaldi's owners to pay $140,000 in back wages and damages to 35 employees. The restaurant chain's owner allegedly brought in the fake priest after the Labor Department started investigating workplace issues. The company had denied overtime pay to workers, paid managers for money customers had left as employee tips, and threatened workers with retaliation and adverse immigration consequences for working with the agency. So the Labor Department said an investigator learned from some workers that the restaurant owner brought in the priest who said that he was a friend of the owners and asked questions about whether they had harmed the chain or its owner. In court documents, a server at the restaurant testified that she found her conversation with the alleged priest unlike normal confessions, where she would talk about what she wanted to confess. Instead, the priest told her what that he would ask the questions.
He was interrogating him.
To, quote, get the sins out of me. She said he asked if I ever got pulled over for speeding, if I drank alcohol, or if I'd stolen anything. The priest asked if I had stolen anything at work, if I was late to my employment, if I did anything to harm my employer, and if I had any bad intentions towards my employment. The Labor Department also alleged that the employers sought to retaliate against workers and silence them, as well as obstruct an investigation and prevent the employees from receiving unpaid wages.
It's outlandish.
Have you ever heard of anything like that before? It's actually pretty ingenious.
It is. Great practical joke.
Yeah, and there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. We have a screening of the new Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, a week from today, and it will be at the AMC Neshaminy at 7 p.m. And if you would like to go, we'll take the first 5 callers right now. 215-263-WMMR. And if you want to go, give us a buzz, and we will put you on the list if you're one of the first 5. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment. In a little while, we're going to have comedian Alex Pearlman in the studio. And don't forget, secret text word, your chance to win tickets to see Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Text word secret to 39333. We'll be back in a moment.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
The MMR
came here. I know you have a book called How to American: An Immigrant's Guide to Disappointing Your Parents.
Yes, that's true.
And so you're working at a financial firm, or where was it?
It was Smith Barney, which was under Citigroup. And I graduated 2010 from college, which is right after the financial crash of 2008.
It's a perfect time.
Nobody in finance was hiring, and nobody was going to trust a 22-year-old kid with their money.
Right.
You know? So my dad hooked me up with an internship And like one day he came home, like he was like, Jimmy, you know, great news. They're gonna hire you full time. You're gonna be a great financial advisor. And literally like tears of joy was coming out of his eyes. And I thought that was just the worst news ever. Like that to me sounded like a death sentence, you know. And I just didn't know how to tell him. And I was like, I don't want to do this, you know. I had to like disappoint my parents in order to not disappoint myself.
Yeah.
Like, that was the creed that I lived by. So after college, I did the internship for a little bit just to appease my dad. And then after that, I got 3 jobs when I graduated. I was a used car salesman. I worked at a comedy club as a doorman in exchange for stage time. And then I was a strip club DJ at night. So I did all those 3 things, still not knowing what I wanted to do. But there was no customers in that club, so nobody ever did.
What was it? Were you doing like day stripping, or was it the night stripper?
It was night stripping. It was after my comedy club show. There was no prime time in that club at any time. I started off with just a stand-up community, which I thought was so cool. That's one of the main reasons why I did stand-up.
So you've seen Bobby Lee's penis then?
Sadly, no. I feel a bit left out. I feel a bit
that
left
guy
out.
gets naked every time he comes in this.
Oh, really? I've been to his house, and he still has not shown me his penis.
Like, we're not even Asian.
We're closer friends. Yeah.
I know. There must be something wrong with me. Maybe he only shows penis to white people.
It might be that.
That might be it.
And he tells you guys about, listen, here's what I do with the white. Whip it out.
But yeah, like Bobby was somebody I looked up to. I watched Matt TV religiously. Steve Byrne was somebody I looked up to. Ken Jeong, and now we're all like really close and good friends.
That's great.
Ken, of course, was in the movie.
Yeah,
it's great.
And you know, we all love each other, and doing this movie, one of the greatest thing, you know, was I felt like I found my creed. You know, of actors, comedians, because we all kind of went through the same phase of disappointing our parents to do this job. We all had the same experience. And like when we're hanging out in Singapore, there was no questions of like, hey, can we go to Chinese food? Like, look, it's not like weird Chinese food. It's just like, no, everybody was just down. We go to authentic Chinese food, and we did karaoke every night. Everybody was just on the same page, and it felt so good.
Did you do work with the Harlem Globetrotters?
Oh, man. You know, people ask me that. It was one of my very first paid jobs ever. So the Harlem Globetrotters, they go to China for like a world tour every year.
Right.
And I was like one of the only Chinese American comedians they could find. This was like 10 years ago. And I was the only one they could afford, I guess. They paid me $200.
To do what exactly?
To be a consultant. So they sent me the script for the Chinese tour to make sure nothing's offensive.
Oh.
Honestly, I didn't even read the script.
You're good to go.
I didn't know. I was like, that was my first job as a comic. I didn't know. And I skimmed through the script. There's something about like they bring out like a Hello Kitty thing, you know, in the middle of their show. I just told them for $200. I was like, dude, you know, Hello Kitty's Japanese, not Chinese. Okay, just so you guys know that. And that was it. That was my $200 worth of advice. And now on my Wikipedia says that I wrote for the Harlem Globetrotters. So.
Silicon Valley, they know not on their radar. They
Yes and no. My dad understands comedy a little better than my mom. Like he loved it. My mom watched it for the first time. He's like, "Hey Jimmy, can you not hunch your back?"
He's correcting your posture.
Yeah, I was like, Ma, I'm playing a character in the show. It's like, okay, play someone who doesn't hunch his back.
Another day, another Korn story. Korn has announced that the band will release its 13th studio album, The Nothing, on September 13th. The follow-up to 2016's The Serenity of Suffering has been preceded by a first single called You'll Never Find Me, which arrived on Wednesday.
Again.
Oh, okay. Jonathan Davis said, deep within our Earth lives an extraordinary force.
He's right.
Very few are aware of the magnitude and significance of this place where good and evil, dark and light, bliss and torment, loss, gain, and hope and despair all exist as one, pulling at us every moment of our lives.
Welcome to the deep, dark caverns of energy. You are here because of Korn, yes? You are one of us. You make the hallowed sound.
It's not something he
Everyone.
It's not something that we can choose to navigate, he says, but
what a bunch of crap.
And it's the only place where balance between these dynamic and polarizing forces exists, where the soul finds its refuge. Welcome to the nothing. Did you just make that?
I just made that.
Put it at the beginning.
One more time.
Yeah, all right.
We are in the nothing. Play the ceremonial sound. Enter.
Oh, that's like the password.
Yes,
at the door.
yeah. It's open sesame.
Okay.
You have approached the boulder of truth. To enter the hall of corn, you must emit the sound of recognition. Proceed.
Slowly, the boulder rolls to one side.
Enter.
This is as stupid as it gets.
Davis is living.
Why?
Come on in.
Come on in.
I love songs like that are just, oh my God, you just said it.
Yeah.
You just said it so plainly, not a lot of, flowery language or metaphors. You just said it straight out. I love
I know one that comes immediately to mind that actually, when I had gone through a breakup, laid it out, and I was like,
I know
got
what it is.
Say it.
Heart of the matter?
You got it.
I knew it.
It's the economy of words.
Telling you.
The message.
Yeah.
It nailed it.
I agree. Don Henley.
Yeah.
And it's so plainly speaks. And he managed to make it all rhyme.
And he
too.
made it rhyme.
How the hell do you do that? These guys. But I wanted to throw this out as a subject of the song that gave you the strength, whatever it was. Jim, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Jim?
Hey, so 15 years ago, I was working for Johnson & Johnson, and we were working on a new Tylenol product, that's Tylenol Rapid Release Gels.
Yeah.
So I'm down in Puerto Rico. I was down there for about 18 months, away from my family, the whole deal. And we were having a lot of technical problems. We're really dejected because we're thinking we're going to have to tell them to delay the launch and everything. And we're winding up the day around 8 o'clock at night. We're on our way to a small hole-in-the-wall restaurant, and as we're walking into the restaurant, we hear Rocky Going the Distance.
It's ready to release the Tylenol!
And so forth. And
You got a headache?
Are you ready? You got a headache? You want an immediate relief? Then you got to have Tylenol! Rapid release! Come on! Rapid release! You can't wait? Your head hurts!
But Jim,
it was the weirdest thing, and in Puerto Rico of all places too. It was hilarious.
Regular Excedrin stinks.
But it gave you the strength because you were missing your daughter, and you just to keep on going, right?
I love you.
Exactly.
I miss you so much. But Daddy's working on rapid release Tylenol.
Down here in Puerto Rico.
Oh my God!
You can't come home right now. It's with the Puerto Ricans trying to mix the rapid release Tylenol.
I hope no one's calling in for sympathy.
Not gonna get it.
Because when you got your head, it feels like it's a punching bag. You got to have immediate relief.
Yeah. Well, listen, it could.
What's that up on the roof? It sounds like a seizure.
You have to take a few Tylenol for that, maybe like a billion.
But it's like a billion.
Yeah.
To shut down your kidneys.
An artificial tongue that can taste minute differences between varieties of Scotch whiskey could be the key to identifying counterfeit alcohol.
I was watching this story yesterday, and I guess the guy who invented it, Preston, has a really thick Scottish brogue.
Yeah, so they're engineers from the University of Glasgow and Strathclyde in Scotland that created this. Yes.
So and it can. The whole purpose is to distinguish knockoff scotch, basically?
Counterfeit alcohol.
Wow.
Well, because you're talking about, big money when it comes to
also
some brands of alcohol.
Listen, Angus, I'm taking this home for the weekend. It's the missus's birthday.
Yeah, it's the artificial tongue.
Here, sit on this for about an hour.
The study
You'll be seeing Israeli parasites in no time.
Involving arranging submicroscopic slices of the two metals in a checkerboard pattern of taste buds.
Look at that tongue go.
Which are around 500 times smaller than those on a human tongue.
So
the scientists measured the plasmonic resonance, or the tiny difference in how much light they absorb, to identify the types of whiskey.
Will this be the companion piece to the fleshlight?
Maybe, or the Sivian. It could be used in food safety testing, quality control, security,
frat parties,
really any area where a portable, reusable method of tasting would be useful. But one whiskey expert cast doubt on the artificial tongue's effectiveness. Charles McLean.
This is a crock of crap.
A master.
You and your stupid tongue. I see right through your ruse, you knob niffler. That's a Scottish insult.
Is it?
I just made it up.
It is now. You knob niffler.
Niffling knobs all day.
No, his title is he is a master of the quaich.
You're a master of the quaich.
The Scotch.
You wee weenied prick.
The Scotch whiskey industry's highest accolade.
Oh, it's a compliment I just paid you. I didn't even know it.
Is master of the quaich, by the way.
You're a master of the quaich.
Master of the queef.
And your wife is a master of the queef. Yeah, I said it. You tongue-building ass.
He said, flavor assessment in the whiskey industry is done by smell, taste, and texture. Of all
the 3 R's.
Of all...
What?
I'm Scottish.
Of all the senses employed, smell is the most important, he says.
Absolutely.
Whiskey blenders and quality assessors rely on... All right, thank you very much, Kathy. So the 95 reconstruction supposedly... going to be done by the end of the weekend.
By the weekend.
Even with the rain.
Yeah.
And Governor Shapiro had said that it was going to take 2 weeks, but they have been working double time and getting it done. Casey had pointed out something this morning during the news portion of the day, which is the first thing we do on the program. And he wanted me to play this clip for you, Kathy.
This is what it looks like when the ingenuity of Delco meets the grit of Philly, and we work together to get it done.
There you go.
So I think the governor's actually calling in tomorrow. So
no kidding.
You can talk to him about it, Case.
One more time.
This is what it looks like when the ingenuity of Delco meets the grit of Philly, and we work together to get it done.
I'll give you that one. I'll give it to you. It's good.
Had we still been keeping score, I would have given that high points, Kathy. Not unlike the helicopter that crash landed in Delaware County.
That helicopter saved us.
That saved you.
That was everything.
Why did that end?
Because I don't like it.
Because Casey doesn't like the Delco Bucksco thing because he always loses and it just bothers him. So.
Well, I think didn't we do it for a year?
And we did do it for a year, and I got tired of it because you guys would bitch at me if I would award or not award points. And like Dumbledore, I said, suck it.
Yeah.
You know, it was my game, my rules.
Don't wrap me into his complaining.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
You were the worst complainer.
What? No, absolutely
You were
not.
pretty bad.
You were like,
Yeah.
you always give me just 5 points, and you always give Dogo 10 points.
You got to admit, Kathy was looking for anyone on that helicopter that was from Bucksco.
Yeah, she was.
The baby.
Yeah. Where was the baby born? What township were they over?
I think I had gotten you'd smack my nose with the newspaper pretty early on in the thing, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to say anything anymore.
No?
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Well, I want to talk about you for a moment.
Oh, no.
No, it's okay.
Yay!
It's appealing, I think, and it's
the caveat
and it's childlike charm.
Oh no!
And I'm not making fun of
no,
you.
No.
2 for 2.
You know I love you.
All right.
All right. So we were talking about the fact that we have a screening of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Nick and Casey and I were in the studio the other day, and I had mentioned that I saw the trailer for that movie because I went to see the new Spider-Man film. And I said that I got caught up in the emotion of it all. I mean, I love that whole adventure and that character. And so I was excited when I saw it. And I know you were saying it's kind of getting mixed reviews, but I'll wait and see for myself.
I'm going to do likewise.
So we were talking about our favorite moments in the movie. My favorite moment in Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's so many great moments. Is when the Nazis have Marion in her bar and they're about to burn her with the poker, and all of a sudden the whip comes in, and then they pan over to Indy and he goes, "Let her go." And I love that moment because here comes this guy, here comes our character, And I was just so excited to share that with these guys. And then immediately Casey goes, the scene where Marion's in with Belloc in the tent? Is that a potato she's eating? Because this has been bothering me for years.
Still, let's watch that scene. Please tell me what she's eating, because it's not bread.
If we can put it up on the screen.
But it just cracked me up that we were talking about our favorite moments in this adventure.
There's the potato scene.
And this potato thing has bothered him forever.
Well, you guys got to remember,
potatoes. I hate potatoes.
I hate them.
In that movie, the scene that I reenacted the most was her doing shots in the bar and her yelling what I think she says is pistade.
Yeah.
And I reenacted that. And I still, from time to time, if I'm doing like a quick shot of something, I will to myself, I'll go, pistade.
Besides the potato scene, we're going to get to the bottom of that. What's your favorite scene in the original Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark? Is the actual title.
Man, you know what? That movie kind of scarred me a little bit because the dude gets his face chopped off by a patella.
By a jello.
By the knee bone? A patella?
No, by a plain propeller. Jesus. The dude gets his face melted off by the Ark of the Covenant.
Many dudes.
Yeah, I know. So that scared me. I'm trying to think of anything that I might have liked.
There's a scene right before that, before their faces melt off, where Belloc is in the desert and he's yelling up to Indy, who's in the hills, and a little fly
goes in his mouth.
Goes in his mouth. Yeah.
There was. In fact, I've seen that posted as in, this is what a great actor does.
Yes.
He doesn't let a fly going into his mouth.
Keeps right on going.
Stumble. It doesn't allow him to stumble at all. And it goes into his mouth and does not come back out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gone.
I like the digging chant. So beyond it's like that.
Besides, don't know that.
The sun is setting, right?
Oh my God. You remember
the dumbest thing.
The dumbest little thing.
So besides the potato and the chant, what did you like from the movie?
By the way, I can tell you about the potato thing because since he mentioned that, and I know what he's talking about. She comes in, she wants to leave the tent, and he's like, "Please have something to eat."
Eat a
She's
potato.
starving. She hadn't eaten in like a couple of days, so she goes over and she takes this big hunk of bread and she starts eating. And she picks up this other thing. It's white and round. And I watched it, and I know what you're talking about. And what I think it is, even though it wouldn't be proper for where they were in the world, it looks like a Chinese steamed bun.
Okay. That is really specific.
Because the color is very, very pale.
I thought it was cheese.
Have some cheese and a Chinese steamed bun.
I don't know.
We're going to find out. There's
bread, and then
what
this
is
the
thing?
thing.
I think it's
kind of flat. It almost looks like a pita.
Wait a second.
French cheese.
I think it's like
It looks like cheese.
Yeah, I think cheese too.
You ever
Not
had
a
a Chinese
potato.
steamed bun? It's definitely not a potato.
Would you like?
Preston, no, I have not.
Just cheese in the middle of the desert.
I just had the best Chinese steamed bun.
He brings some of that French liqueur with him, and they drink that. And so, he's civilized. He's bringing some French culture.
You know the old, and it's now part of pop culture itself, is that Indiana Jones has no sway on the outcome of the movie. The Big Bang Theory did a whole episode about it, and it's one of those things. Obviously his journey, it shows about the ineluctable outcome, but as you said, Preston, like with that whip and the poker and all that stuff, that's that swaggering hero that you just love, and that's why it was so cool.
I love when he puts his hat on in the sunset, when they're in that digging scene, and he puts the fedora back on his head. And honestly, the scene when he's with Marion and he's telling her where things hurt.
I love that one.
I love that. It's like
when
it's genius.
When she flips the mirror around and then they take the scene outside of the boat and you're just here.
Yeah.
That's a good laugh in that movie. I like that.
Yeah, somebody was mentioning or suggesting that it's a hard-boiled egg.
It's not an egg.
It's not a hard. No,
Too big. It's too big to be a hard-boiled egg.
It's a Bertucci's roll.
Oh,
He had them flown in.
okay.
Yeah, those are some of the iconic moments. What do you think is the most iconic moment? The boulder scene.
The boulder scene
has to
it's
be.
gotta
right?
be right. Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of Temple of Doom. I know you guys aren't as big a fan. In fact, when he's able to bring the kids back to the village at the end, that to me is a home run.
It's funny, Steve, because like there are so many parts of all of these movies that are completely unbelievable, but I find Temple of Doom so unbelievable. Like when they're in the raft out of the airplane and like they're just fine as a result. That one turns me off. But Last Crusade, I love Raiders and Last Crusade so much.
I wouldn't mind inviting those who may have weird little observations, not necessarily about this film franchise. That's stupid. In case he admitted it was a stupid thing.
It's dumb.
But that you had always had a question about. And maybe we can answer that question. Somebody had texted in and says, Reddit says it's French cheese.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So it's possible. But if there's any little dumb movie observation that maybe you've even been embarrassed to ask us that question.
Wilson.
We may get nothing out of this.
Could
I have
it have
no
been a
idea.
Hot
Wilson.
Pocket, Preston?
215-263-WMMR. Kathy never knew what Wilson meant.
Yep.
Or where the name Wilson came from in Castaway.
Yes, I was. I remember I was at a store and I saw the Wilson volleyball, and I was like, "Oh no, Wilson!"
My buddy and I, and he will still fight to this day over what they say in Boys in the Hood when Ice Cube says, "Yo, you want to bust some spades?" And my friend says, "Yo, do you want to bust some spags?" And I'm like, spags is not a thing. It's not a word. It's not a game that people play. Spades, on the other hand, is a card game. And he, to this day, will go, no, it's spags. I'm like, it's not, okay.
You can look at the script. The script is online.
Are you right?
Yeah,
well, now you can,
yeah.
but back then you couldn't.
All right, this is from foodandfilm.com.
Foodandfilm.com.
Yes. Here's the description of that scene. After a server brings food to the tent where she is being held, Renee Bellach motions to the dining table and tells Marion, please eat something. And Marion then begins to devour the food, first beginning with what looks like a thick slice of bread, possibly aish shamsi, a sourdough bread popular in Upper Egypt. Before moving on to, and this is the big question here,
yes,
what looks like a large piece of white cheese, maybe domiati or Arish cheese. So this is according to foodandfilm.com.
So that's their assessment. They don't know for a fact, but I think the cheese thing holds water.
And I think it puts the potato thing to rest.
Yeah.
Yes. On the table, it says there's also a fruit plate clearly containing at least 2 green apples, as well as possibly some grapes and a banana. Once Marion has had some food, Belloc brings out a bottle of what appears to be some type of distilled liquor for the two of them to enjoy. And although Marion never gets a direct answer when she asks, "What is this stuff?"
Five Alive.
He tells her, "I grew up with this. It is my family label." And by the way, I know why this came up because Nix, you had said you liked the scene where he brings in the dress. He says, "I would very much like to see you in it." And she goes, "Yeah, I bet you would."
Yeah, and she's
that Marion attitude.
She's still got food in her mouth when she's saying it. Yeah. And then you get a little mirror shot of her naked back, which is sexy.
It is sexy. And that brought up Casey's observation about the quote-unquote potato, which you can boil and mash and stick
it in a stew
if you want to.
Right.
All right, let me go to some calls here. Stupid questions about movies. Maybe we can answer, maybe we can't. But let me go to our buddy Craig Legons. We're going to lead off with him. Craig, what's up, buddy?
What up, white folks?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. My quick Indiana Jones point, one of the things my favorite memory is when the main villain takes out these sticks with chains on them, and we think he's going to do some bodily damage, and it turns into a coat hanger.
Yes. That's your favorite scene? It is a good laugh.
Yeah. Mike, it's not really a question. It's just an observation, and I saw Die Hard when it first came out in the theater, and I saw it with my father because he loves action movies. But the scene where he pulls a fire alarm, and the fire department comes, and he's all excited, and then Hans calls them back, say it was a false alarm, and the entire fire department makes a U-turn.
Yes.
My father screamed in the theater, Full S.
Yeah, your dad's a fireman.
My dad was a fireman.
Yeah.
And for the rest of my life and the rest of it, that's the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
No matter what, they would have at least
investigated,
popped in, and per protocol, per their report, they would have had to have gone in and seen for their own eyes, right?
Exactly. So my question was, why did they leave that part in, or why was that something that people think? Because even when I watch it now, I watch it with my girlfriend who had never seen Die Hard before. And I still pointed out, that wouldn't happen.
Okay.
There are so many things that expedite, that read right.
Yeah.
There's an actual YouTube series that's great. They go to experts on everything from they'll dissect the battle, like in that sequence in the beginning of Gladiator where they're fighting the Hessians or Germans or whatever it was.
Right.
At
Their
that time
weaponry.
period. Yeah. And their methodology and what they would have done. So there are for this, and it all. Sometimes it's just convenience for the script writer to just say, "Okay, we're going to do this and make this happen." Yeah. But sometimes things like that can really stick in your mind. And go, it's really ruining.
All right, thanks, Craig. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, we'll see you, bud. Oh man, there was somebody who was on hold.
Yeah.
What was it? What were they?
It was something about Red Dragon saying that the main character was blind. And how did her friends and I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen the rest of that.
Yeah, me too.
I know that movie well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Keith, who has an Indiana Jones observation. Hi, Keith. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. What's up, man?
All right. In the scene where they're in the bar fighting the Nazis, where they're with Marion,
right?
Indiana Jones is firing a Colt 1911.
Okay. A revolver.
If you look at it, when he's up against the wall firing from undercover, he's got a Colt 1911. Indiana Jones carries a revolver. Where do you get the 1911 from?
Maybe it was in the bar.
Yeah, it was on the ground.
Maybe when the Nazis dropped it.
Maybe there was a big bin of 1911 revolvers.
Yeah.
Take one.
And by the way, he has a revolver. I think for most, I remember it, and counting the amount of shots that he shoots, it doesn't match up.
Yeah.
And they also sound like a full-on cannon.
They do,
firing,
yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
But that's a good observation.
Actually, I don't know the answer to that, Keith. Thanks.
They play light and fast with weapons in movies all the time.
Yeah. All right, hang on. This is Keith, who has an observation or a question. Keith, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, so anyway, I was born in 1970. Star Wars came out in 77. It was a big thing, and there was always supposed to be 9 movies. I always wanted to live long enough to see the 9th movie. So when I finally get to the 9th movie with my own kids, it's like a big deal. And they get to the part where the evil emperor says to Yoda, he's got him on the ropes. He's like, I've waited a long time for this, my little green friend. And I'm completely colorblind. And all of a sudden, I'm like, Yoda's green?
Oh, shut up.
Oh, my God.
No freaking clue my whole life.
Dude.
Do you think he was red?
Yeah, what color did you think he was?
I just thought he was like skin colored.
Like flesh color?
Like just a tiny guy.
Like E.T.
Yeah.
Hey, watch it.
All right, thank
Yoda's
you,
a
Keith.
pussy.
Not really a question, but yeah.
Yeah, just an observation.
I didn't know if there were weird things that stuck to you, like the potato thing,
right?
Casey and Marion.
It's minutia beyond minutia. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. I will go to Kyle real quick here. Hey, Kyle. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, sorry to bother you all at work.
It's okay.
What you got?
So, when I was watching Back to the Future Part 2 recently, Doc Brown gets struck by lightning when he's in the DeLorean, and in the sky, there's a giant 66 or 99. I always wondered what that was about.
In the sky, there's a giant 66 or a 99.
Homage to Wayne Gretzky, I believe.
No,
Or is it supposed to be an 88?
I think what it is the tire marks in the sky. So when in the first movie, when they first used the DeLorean as a time machine, you see the flames left by the tire marks.
Yes.
As when he's testing it with Einstein, the dog, and then in 2. Back to the Future 2, when it goes back in time, they leave tire tracks, but they leave them in the air, and they're just swirls. That's my guess on it.
That sounds viable.
I'm not sure if that's 100% right, though.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Interesting. All right, I've never personally noticed that, and that was in the second one.
It's in the second one, right towards the end, where he's got the little streamer hanging down from the DeLorean while it's flying. It gets hit by lightning. He goes back to 1885.
Okay.
And then Marty has to wait for the guy from, Strange Brew to show up.
Here's one, Preston. That's more recent.
Joe Flaherty.
I don't know if you know this one. In Army of the Dead, the Zack Snyder film, in the beginning, you watched it, right? Did you watch it?
I did.
Right. So in the beginning, when that convoy is leaving the military camp, as they pull out, if you notice in the sky, there are like 3 shining objects that dart off after they leave the compound, suggesting that they were under some sort of like alien surveillance or something like that. If you look carefully, you'll see them. They're there, and they're up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen.
Really?
They're hovering, and they take off.
And definitely done on purpose.
Definitely done on purpose, yeah.
Interesting. All right. George has an observation that's always bothered him. Hey, George, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, guys?
Good. What's up, man?
So, I just recently rewatched Batman '89 in preparations to see The Flash, which I still haven't seen, but how do they not know who Bruce Wayne is?
Well, this is the constant question of all time. How do you not know Clark Kent is Superman and vice versa? At least Batman has a little bit more of his face covered, but that's one of the great suspensions of logic.
Well, what I mean is, like, when they go to, like, the reporter, they go to Bruce Wayne's house, they're having the party, and they're like, which one's Wayne? Who's Wayne? And even Bob.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He's
incredibly famous.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's Gotham, but he's super well. It's, of course you would know who he was.
Yeah. You're at his house.
Yeah.
It's like, which one's Wayne? Which one's Wayne?
And by the way, they're investigative reporters and they don't know what he looks like.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All
I
right,
like that.
Thank you, George. Appreciate that. Let's go to Robin. Hello there, Robin.
Hey, guys. Long-time listener. I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. What's up?
I just wanted to say back in school, my friends and I in physics class figured out using, formulas and everything that the jump that the bus in Speed does when there's a gap in the highway is physically impossible.
And it looks impossible in the movie too. They pull it off poorly because it's not even remotely enough of a ramp to get enough lift to carry it over to the side.
Exactly, and it's always bothered me, not just about that, but any movie where a vehicle flies up into the air. My husband's like, oh, yeah, it's just a turbo jump.
Yeah, it's just a turbo jump.
Turbo boost.
I'll tell you, our issue.
Like Kit, on Knight Rider.
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
Like, no, they hid a ramp in the bush. I'm telling you. And he's like, no, there's no ramp there.
It's turbo.
I love it. Thank you, Robin. But
no ramp.
now, when movies play off of that comedically, like the Blues Brothers,
yes,
like with their car,
hilarious.
They're flying. They're speeding backwards. He puts on the brakes, and the car does a somersault up over the car behind them, and then lands, flips around and lands and takes off. You can get away with it there.
If you want to watch a hilarious sort of expose, not really, but it's a part of the outtakes of Starsky and Hutch, the movie. They show them going over the San Francisco hills, and you see how many cars get completely destroyed on what would be passed off as a routine jump, and the car did great.
Yeah, the front ends just buckle on them.
Blown out.
All right, I like this one. Let me go to Frank here. Hi, Frank. Good morning.
Is this 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia?
Ooh,
well done.
Nice pipes, Frank. What's up, bud?
Thank you. Listen, I always had a problem with the TV show The Flintstones.
Go ahead. It seems like it could not happen.
It's supposed to take place in prehistoric times, but they had a Christmas show.
You're right. It predates Jesus.
Yeah.
How the hell?
How the hell do you have a Christmas show? The guy hasn't been born yet.
That's really funny.
Everything else seemed possible.
Yeah. Especially the garbage disposal that's a little creature.
Or the
that sits under
photograph
the
is
sink.
a pterodactyl, Preston. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I love that, Frank. That's a great observation.
By the way, you know what every one of those creatures did in the house that was an appliance? It's a living. Right? It's always be what they'd say.
All right, hang on a second here. Sean has an observation about Goodfellas. We have actually a couple of Goodfellas questions or observations. Hi, Sean. Good morning.
Good morning, it's Cresbo.
Yo, what's up, Sean?
What's up, buddy? Hey, I was just, what really bothers me when I'm watching Goodfellas and they're in prison, and that guy's carrying the lobsters over.
Yeah.
And they scan down to his feet, and he's wearing Adidas sliders. They haven't even come out yet.
Yeah, there are people whose job, obviously, on movie sets is to look for continuity errors. You would figure in a Scorsese film they'd be a little bit more astute on that. But yeah, there are a couple of anomalies in Goodfellas. It's just such a masterpiece, though. You just,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best movie ever, but there's a couple parts that are really good.
But that's the one that sticks out to you like, no way.
Not happening.
All right, thanks.
I always say with anything, especially with James Bond movies or any movie, all right, I'm along for the ride. You're going to set the rules, and I'm going to play in your area with the rules that you've set.
Right.
What pisses me off is when a movie violates its own rules that it's asked you to buy into, and then you can say weird things like the Flintstones are celebrating Christmas, and it's well before Jesus.
There was one that always bothered me. What was the Tom Cruise racing movie, the stock car
Days of
movie?
Thunder.
Days of Thunder. So Carrie Elways comes in as his replacement driver for a little while, and then he goes back to a different team, and then they have this rivalry. Or were they on the same team? But anyway, they have this rivalry. And they're going around there showing real NASCAR drivers doing interviews.
Right.
Okay. And then they go to Carrie Elway's character, and he goes, Cole comes near me, I'm going to put him in the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one pre-race would ever say that at some point I'm going to try to kill someone out on the racetrack.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
You should see the chess matches.
Comes near me, I'm going to put him in the wall. I'm like, well, guess what? You're not racing today.
What did you say?
Yeah.
What did you say?
On camera?
Yeah. Let's go to this other Goodfellas observation. Adam, good morning.
Good morning, you homie uncle.
We are homie uncles. There's no two ways.
Thank you, Adam, and good morning to see you. What's up?
Good morning to you. Yeah, so in Goodfellas, the scene where Karen was talking to Jimmy the Gent, and he was telling her to go down the block to look for some dresses in the building.
Yes.
So as she's pulling away after she got spooked, she pulls away in her Volvo, and if you've noticed, the station wagon parked on the street in front of her Volvo, a New York license plate falls off the back of that.
I did not notice. It would seem weird, but having lived in New York for a lot of for a number of years, stuff falls off things all the time.
Oh, yeah, but the car was untouched, and there's another license plate still bolted to the car.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
Interesting. Well, I wonder if it was
a mob vehicle.
Yeah, stolen
with like the mob's equivalent of the rotating license plates for James Bond.
All right.
Or a janky prop.
Do you know what they did, though?
Thanks, Adam.
They did, Preston. We're watching the scene here. They matched the old registration tags for the cars in New York. New York always has horrible stuff like that, but they were pretty damn accurate with a lot of this stuff. It's hard, especially when they'll do, like when Quentin Tarantino recreated blocks of Sunset Strip. And it was all physical. There was no CGI involved. You've got to be very clear on your time frame and what would and would not have existed.
Yeah, I like when they keep like these weird anomaly might not be the right word, but when they keep them in it didn't get edited out. So they're in, speaking of Tarantino, there's a scene in True Romance where Patricia Arquette is talking to Christian Slater, and she was, I believe, a hooker.
She was.
Okay. And so she's talking to him. She's a little bit emotional, and she's telling him that like when she is with somebody, like she is 100%. And when she says monogamous, she gets a spit bubble. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh my God!
She says monogamous, and she gets a huge spit bubble in her mouth. And I know she didn't mean to do that in that scene, but that's what happened, and that's what he kept in.
There's sometimes when there's one scene in it, I forget what the name of the movie is, but it's with Burt Reynolds. It's a comedy, Jill Clayburgh, and it's a really well done comedy movie. It's from maybe the 80s, and Jill Clayburgh has a scene where she's crying and talking to Burt Reynolds, and a massive amount of snot is running down her upper lip, and I'm like,
yes.
Oh God.
And I'm like, why did you go with this take?
Do another.
It's a snot take.
But it was real. It was really real.
That's too real.
And so I guess that's when whoever, because Tarantino didn't direct that movie. He just
it was
wrote
Tony
right?
Scott.
Yeah. So when he saw that, he's like, okay, this
I like the bubble. That seems real for me. I don't know why I'm not be drawn to blah, blah, blah.
But like you can't even right now make as big of a bubble in your mouth that she makes in this one. Just
I think you've just laid down the challenge.
Did I lay down the gauntlet? Okay.
I don't have thick enough spit right now. I just tried. Not going to work. I want to go to Ryan. Ryan, good morning.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Yeah, but all right, you had a question about a scene in a movie?
Yeah, well, it took me my whole childhood to figure it out. I figured it out.
Oh, you did figure it out. Okay, do share.
Yeah, so Sandlot, right before they go to the pool, they're all in the dugout. And, well, the first one, Ham says, it's too hot. I'm baking like a toasted cheeser. That one took.
A toasted cheeser?
Yeah.
You didn't know what he said?
Yeah. What even is a toasted cheeser? I guess it's like
a grilled cheese sandwich?
Cheese, I guess.
A grilled cheese back in the 50s, I guess, right? Yeah.
Okay.
The second one is then Benny goes, all right, if you can't hack it panty waist, so where's your mama's bra? Raise your hands. And then they all raise their hands, and then they say, well, what do you want to do then? And then they all look at each other and they say, the pool honeys, which it took me, I had to look it up. Finally.
Wow, you've done far too much research for Sandlot.
Mm-hmm. No, it's my favorite movie.
But you didn't.
It's a classic.
You didn't understand what they were saying, and so you went and searched and figured that out.
Oh, it's like the Spades comment you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
You couldn't figure out what they're saying.
Right.
You know what happens now more often than not? If you want, when you're watching a movie where this comes up, put on the closed caption.
Yes.
It's a quick fix. Yeah. It'll solve a lot of these questions.
You can do that now. That is true. Let's see here. Okay. Fan theory on the Flintstones. We're going to double back to this. I have Amy on the line. Hi, Amy. Good morning.
Tonight is 7 o'clock. Tonight is 7 o'clock. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Oh, my God.
Wait, what was that?
What was that audio?
I have it.
Yeah. It was tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
We have no idea.
That's code.
It got doubled. Tonight at 7 o'clock. Tonight at 7 o'clock.
And then they invaded Normandy.
All right. Thank you for that, by the way, Amy. All right. What's up? What about the Flintstones?
All right. So you guys know how people say that the Flintstones is like where people live in the Jetsons, like they're on the ground level of the earth. Like everything's post-apocalyptic there. If you think of it post-apocalyptic, they're in the future. They reverted back into prehistoric times, and that's how they know about Jesus and like Christmas and everything.
So the fan theory is that they're actually in a time after the Jetsons, a dystopian. Well, not dystopian because they seem to be getting on pretty well, but they're post Jetsons, and they have something cataclysmic happened, and they're building their way back up.
Yeah.
Opting to use stone and animals.
Yeah, and dinosaurs.
But somehow or another, dinosaurs had re-emerged on the Earth.
You know it's going to happen, man. You saw Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Right. And then, they like when the bombs dropped, they mutated into the
dinosaurs.
into
dinosaurs.
to Ralph Cramden and the honeymooners.
And the honeymooners. It all makes sense.
Way too much thought into the Flintstones.
I
and the
think
Jetsons.
I think the dinosaur theory is a bit much. Other than that, I'm with you all the way.
Yeah, that would be cool to think of it that way.
Thank you for your call. I did not know that.
I had always found it weird that Marty McFly hung out with some weird old scientist.
I wonder how that relationship
Take
started.
your pants off.
Well, what I tend to think, and my fan theory, is that he always went back to 1955. So Doc always knew Marty McFly from 1955 on. So Doc made sure that he and Marty at some point had a relationship in order to make everything happen.
A friendly relationship.
Yeah.
But
so in 1955, Doc Brown gets a knock at his door, and it's Marty McFly.
Yes.
That happened initially, right, in 1955. So that in between 1955 and 1985, Doc made sure that he and Marty.
But it never would have happened if they weren't friends in the first place.
Yeah, it's a paradox.
It is a conundrum, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of so much of time travel and multiverse lore, and that's always the biggest problem. You know, how do you, we were talking about Cabin in the Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin, yep.
Yeah, it has there's sort of a flip around there.
Did you ever hear, our physicist friend, the great
Neil deGrasse Tyson,
his theory on time travel and why it would be impossible.
It's
Why it would be impossible for you to go back in time like it would be in the movies.
Right.
Do you remember this?
No.
It's because if you were to have a machine that would instantaneously transport you to a different time, you would still remain physically where you are.
Right.
But the Earth would be in a different place in the universe
You'd be
because
out
of
in
the
space.
constant motion.
Yeah.
And you would be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so unless it moves you in location as well.
So get the
get the location
premium
ahead of
edition.
time.
Get the premium time machine
Yes,
with the extra
exactly.
package.
I think my favorite time travel explanation is in Avengers Endgame because they make fun of it while doing it.
Yeah.
You know, they talk
Poking
about
fun
how
of the movie.
ridiculous it is. Yes, and they reference Back to the Future, and they're like, yes, all of this is insane. Also, we're going to go fight Thanos.
What about Time Cop, the great Jean-Claude Van Damme film, where I think they posit that if you touched or are the person that you are, you cause some sort of
because two things can't occupy the same place.
Yeah.
I believe Time Cop is the most scientifically accurate.
It's what Stephen Hawking said it was the most brilliant script he'd ever written.
When
he wrote it.
When the discussions about time travel start to happen, like in Endgame,
right?
When Bruce Banner is trying to explain that when you go to the future. That the past becomes your present and blah blah blah. Like I'm gone. Forget it. I you have now taken the step where you have completely lost me. I'll sit back and enjoy the ride, but I can't wrap my mind around the concept of
That's
what's
why
going
they
on here.
sort of mock it as they're explaining it.
Mock?
Yeah. Did you ever see the film Looper?
Yes.
Oh,
I actually love that one.
That's Ryan Johnson. So that's Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it has some interesting ideas about time travel. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
I wished it would have ended differently. I had a different theory as to what Joseph Gordon-Levitt could have done at the end of that movie, rather than what he did do.
He could have gone back and lived with the Flintstones.
He could have, possibly.
I want to go to Kate. Something that's always bothered her in a movie. Hi, Kate. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Kate?
So, I have a problem with the setup to the Mighty Ducks movies.
The Mighty Ducks. Let's hear it.
Okay.
So I was recently watching it with my kids, and in the beginning, you find out that Gordon Bombay, the coach, he gets his 12th DUI, and his consequence is that he has to coach
a kids sports team.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Well,
I never thought about it that way.
The pedophile they were going to use hung himself in jail.
I never
you're
realized
exactly right.
I didn't realize that was the whole premise for that. Okay,
Neither
we're going to
did
take
I.
a guy who essentially should be in jail for the rest of his life because I guess the 3 strikes rule didn't exist back then.
He ran a van off the road and killed a family of 6.
Right. Thank you, Kate. Astute observation there. I love it. All right, over to Justin now. Hi, Justin. Good morning.
Good morning, it.
Good morning to see you, sir. What's up?
So I have 2 from Home Alone 1. One, they live in a giant mansion. Nobody knows what Kevin's dad does, and yet he takes a family of like 20 on a trip.
Right,
And the
overseas.
No, he does do all right for
then-
himself.
Yeah, and the other one is when Kevin's mom finally realized that he was missing, she called the local police, which ended up being the Wet Bandits, but they would go over there dressed as police officers, and Kevin never answers the door. Like, you're home alone. What, you want to talk to the cops?
Okay.
Let them know. Yeah.
Interesting, unless, I didn't pick up on that. I mean, I can see some wiggle room if he's been instructed to never answer the door for anyone.
But isn't there indication that like he feels something about those 2 supposed cops that come to the door? Isn't there some sort of
Because they
indication
look like
to that?
idiots?
No. I thought there was something that.
them after.
No. Cops never came to the door, did they?
Also, the movie would be over at that point.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well, it would also be over at the point where she calls the police initially, and the guy's going, "Is your child actually missing?" And he just kind of brushes her off, and I'm like, come on.
And they go and check, and they're like, no one's there.
Yeah.
They said that the house was clear and secure. She needs to recount her kids.
Okay.
That seems like a concerned investigator.
But it's a comedy, so you let that go.
Yes, again,
I know what you're saying.
These movies,
Justin.
so many would end without these conceits.
Well,
quickly.
Okay. This one I don't know because I don't remember the movie well, but we'll go to Jay here. And we got to wrap up here in a second. Hi, Jay. Good morning.
How did she slap?
How can she slap?
What's up, Jay?
Hey, he said sure, the first one.
Ace and
Something seems off about it, doesn't it?
Ace and Courtney Cox go in to the mansion,
Yeah.
and they walk in, and there's a guy dressed in white, and he says, "Hey, Captain Stubing," or something to that.
Right.
And
Permission
my
to
bro-
come aboard, sir.
My brother and I have a bet that's been going on ever since this.
Okay.
He thinks that is Gavin McLeod.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Your brother's
And I'm
wrong.
like, no, it's not Gavin McLeod.
Yeah.
But it's uncredited.
You win. We're looking at the clip right now.
It's really not.
Yeah, it's definitely not Gavin McLeod. But you looked it up and it's uncredited.
Yeah, it's uncredited.
Adding to the conspiracy, perhaps later deepfake technology erased Gavin McLeod and replaced him with a lookalike.
It is Dan Marino, but it's not Gavin McLeod.
Okay.
You know what else?
Thanks, Jay.
I think Keith Byers is in that movie. Longtime Philadelphia Eagle running back. I believe he is the guy.
The Dolphin?
No, he's not the Dolphin. That's Snowflake. No, he is the guy who's running the track.
Okay.
When he's trying to get look at his ring as
Yeah.
I think that's Keith Byers.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, it's one thing we have learned. Marion was not eating a potato.
Yeah.
She was eating maybe some cheese.
We believe cheese.
Yes, that's what it was. That's how this whole conversation
Eating in a
started.
way you really wouldn't eat cheese unless you and she was
starving.
famished. Yeah.
And also Hector Salamanca is the from Breaking Bad. He is the landlord of Ace Ventura's apartment. So I just wanted to let you guys know.
All right, good.
Any other cameos we need to know of?
You know which one I found recently? The guy that runs the shop in Guardians of the Galaxy, where they bring in that bauble from the first one.
Yeah.
That when Batman in 1989 Batman goes, "Who are you? I'm Batman."
Yeah.
That's the same guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's the scene where Yondu's doing the blah, 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 blah,
exactly
blah, blah.
that
Okay.
guy with the weird funky
Yeah.
eyebrows.
Yeah.
Is when Batman he's like, "Who are you?" And Batman's holding him by the gruff. That's that same actor.
Same guy.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
There we go.
Or is it?
But I don't know about Keith Byers.
Well, here's what we need to do. We need to take a break because our guest is awaiting in
nice.
the Acme Lounge. We're going to talk to him in just a moment. But since we were talking about movies and we got started with Raiders of the Lost Ark, let's give away movie screening passes to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's a week from today. And this is going to be at the AMC Neshaminy at 7 p.m. So we will take callers 10, 11, and 12, and we will give you those passes. 215-263-WMMR. Give us a call right now. We're going to take a break. And by the way, that movie opens on Friday, June 30th, so we're getting you in ahead of time. Alex Pearlman, who's going to be at Helium Comedy Club in September, is going to be joining us next when we get back. So stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
You made your stupid ass tongue.
You thick tongue.
You freak. You frig nibbler.
Frig nibbler.
He's just making things up.
I'm making them up and they're sticking.
I love it.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
You frig
You
nibbler.
frig nibbler. You chowder huffer. When an angry Scotsman says it,
it's the
carries more
best.
weight.
You lollygagger.
He's a carp tickler. That's a compliment.
Here's the thing. When I make jokes about people that have disabilities, never the person with the disability gets mad at me.
Well, there you go.
Ever.
There you go.
It's always the person who knows the person with a disability. It's always the person who is like, my son.
Do you get extra firepower because you are a person of smaller stature?
Yes, I'm a dwarf, midget, person, short stature, and I know it's my voice. You can't tell. I'm not on the radio like, oh, plus some stuff. Woohoo! Like, no, I don't sound like that. But yes, I get a little more leeway because it's really hard to get mad at the dwarf who's making jokes.
Do you ever have someone get pissed off at you and then not realize that you are, and then like you see them like
Yeah, on the radio. Yeah, on the radio that happens because, like I said, it don't sound like. And then they come like, "How dare? What? How would you like it if you have a disability?" It's like, I can't wear adult clothes. Like I gotta pick up chicks with Bob the Builder on my T-shirt. All right, yeah. Like I did a show a few weeks ago, and there's a guy in the audience, and he was in a wheelchair. And he didn't have any legs, right? And I immediately started making fun of him. And he laughing. You could tell he's laughing because the chair was moving back and forth real fast. And the audience got mad. And like one dude stood up. He's like, "Stop making fun of him. What if he gets mad at you?" And I was like, "I'll run up some stairs. I'm not worried. This guy's not gonna do. He's not a threat." So yeah, like it's always the people that don't have the ailment that I'm talking about that get mad.
Do you ever get hit up for do scripts come your way for
yeah. And
what's the most bizarre you've gotten sent your way?
Oh my god.
Because you know you had when the Hervé Villechaize story was being done, right?
Well, yeah, because that's Dinklage though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
He produced it.
He's the Dinklage is the
dude.
top guy. I hate Peter Dinklage. It's strictly jealousy. It has nothing to do with him as a person. He's probably a delightful human being, but he's in everything. If they made a movie and called it the Brad Williams story, it would be starring Peter Dinklage. It's madness.
What's the craziest thing you've been offered? Yeah.
Well, the craziest thing I was ever offered, and I actually did it. So this one dude wrote me and said, "Hey, I'm doing a horror film, and I need you to be like a monster or whatever."
Really?
And I was like, "All right, cool." And I had to sit in the chair. They put the mold all around me. You have to sit there for however many minutes.
It's claustrophobic, right?
Yeah, so the mold sets. It's really kind of scary. And then you do it, and then he goes, "Okay, this could be the monster mold." And I did the film. It's like some low budget independent.
Yeah.
It's nothing anyone's seen. What I didn't know is that the guy took the mold and sold it to somebody who turned me into a sex toy.
Are you kidding?
That is
There's a Brad Williams sex doll?
Yes. Well, not anymore because I sued them.
Were you flattered?
Unbelievable.
Were you slightly flattered?
Slightly flattered, but like, dude, it was freaky because someone gave me the website.
Did you get one at least before you sued him? Because you could literally go F yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. My wife could have something to do while I was gone. But yeah, like I looked at this website. It was me. It was me. And I just thought to myself, like, how weird is this gonna be if someone on the street who bought this sees me walking the other way and just goes, "Whoa!" Like, and it just like has this weird reaction. I'm like, "Why are you acting like that?" He's like, I usually put my penis somewhere on you." That's great.
Was it being marketed as Brad Williams? Or?
No,
I'm sure not.
Yeah. No, it was marketed as like a midget sex toy. Like, this is how you could bang a dwarf. And
What
I'm
a
just
world!
Like,
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm
What
just
a
like,
world.
wow. So yeah, I had to get my legal team involved in that.
Oh my Brad, what were they going for? Do you know? I'm just curious.
It was like $125. It was like an expensive sex toy.
Wow.
I once was asked to play in a charity golf tournament, and I thought, absolutely great. I'll go play in the charity golf tournament, and I do. And they had these golf carts that had the names of all the celebrities on the golf carts. So I'm walking, and it's like it's Bill Engvall was in it, and like some guy from Greece, not John Travolta. So who the hell cares? And then I see my golf cart. It says "Wee Man" on the golf cart.
No way.
Yeah, it says "Wee Man" on the golf cart. And at first I was pissed, and then the group I was playing with start walking towards me, going, "Oh, we're so glad we got Wee Man. All our friends got lame celebrities. We got Wee Man." I'm like, "Oh God, now I got it."
Yep.
Now I can't be like, "You actually did get a lame celebrity." So I faked it. I faked being Wee Man because I thought, these guys are giving a lot of money to charity.
Sure.
Let's make sure they have a good time. So like I faked it. I started saying I was Wee Man. Then we get to this hole that's sponsored by Hooters, because if you play in these charity golf tournaments, there's all the holes that are sponsored by different restaurants, corporations, whatever. So the hole is sponsored by Hooters. It's a bunch of girls. They're the Hooters girls. They have the wings and beer and stuff. And we walk up, and this Hooters waitress sees me and goes, "That's not Wee Man."
Wow.
And everyone, and I'm like, "Wait, what? No, I'm Wee Man." Like, get it. Because now this has gone down to like 12, 14 holes. I can't like just suddenly turn around. So I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I'm Wee Man. And she goes, no, that's not Wee Man. I had sex with Wee Man.
Oh, God.
You are not Wee Man. And I'm like, what? So I run up to her.
Oh, my God.
I grab her by the wrist and I kind of explain to her the situation. And I'm like, hey, I know I'm not Wee Man. These guys are doing it for charity. Think I am. The freaking charity thought I was.
Yeah.
Like, so it's on them. This is not me trying to do this. Just play along. And I peeled her off like $40 because when you give $40 to a Hooters waitress, they'll do anything.
So did she immediately? Was she receptive to it? Or did you have to work her?
She immediately flipped around. I was like, oh, okay, totally get it. And then she's like, never mind. I was wrong. Wee Man. And I thought, kudos to her.
Yeah.
Because she's, first of all, she blatantly just yelled out in front of a group of strangers, I had sex with a midget. And then a few minutes later says to the same strangers, I had sex with a midget and forgot which midget it was. So that's kudos to her.
Yeah, that's worth $40.
That's worth $40 just for that moment. But then,
oh my God,
here's the best part.
All right,
it's not done. Here's the best part. I like, so now the problem is solved, and now the guys are like all teeing off, and I go to the back and I kind of go to her and go, hey, so you had sex with Wee Man? And she goes, yeah, I had sex with Wee Man. And she goes, here, he came in the restaurant. He chatted me up, and it was good. I recognized him, and then we had a little fun. And then she goes, here, I'll show you a picture. And she busts out the picture, and she shows me the picture, and I look at the picture, and I go, that's my dwarf friend, Sean.
Oh, yes! That's not Wee Man.
That's not Wee Man.
She did not have sex with Wee Man. She had sex with Sean.
I like Kevin Costner, so I'm sticking to. You know what he's doing? He does the voice of the dog in The Art of Racing in the Rain, that new movie coming out.
The Art of Racing in the Rain. What's that about?
So it's one of these endless series of stories like a dog's purpose of dogs. I'm a sucker for all of them, but this is another. You're hearing the dog's thoughts, right? And Milo Ventimiglia, and who is the girl from Mean Girls?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I love her to death.
Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda Seyfried. Yeah. And so it's actually my wife's favorite book. But I kept seeing the commercial. I'm like, I know that voice. It's Kevin Costner.
Cool.
I would love to see what they're actually thinking.
Why don't you lick her butt? Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, you'd love to see what? Is it about the dog thing?
Yeah.
All right, what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's the story of a dog and his thoughts.
Lick her butt. Go ahead, lick it. You'll love it.
I licked mine. I love that.
Hey, where do you want to go for dinner, buddy? Doesn't matter. I eat frozen turds. So when are you going to lick her ass?
Get off that!
Lick her butt already.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hey, buddy.
All right.
I love you, man. I know you're getting up there in years. Yeah. Did you lick her butt yet? Because that's really a lot of what dogs think about.
That's what they do. They love it. Yeah.
Hey, I just ate some tampons.
Oh, my God. Dude, we eventually...
I know.
It's finally stopped in our house. We finally got a trash can with a little closing lid on the top of it.
Right. They're predators.
For the bathroom.
If they're going to rip a rabbit to pieces in your yard,
yeah, exactly.
A tampon's like a buffet.
Oh, my cats can get into those trash cans.
Oh, really?
I have to put the heavy tissue box holder on top of the trash can with the lid.
No kidding. Okay.
Pets are so fun and
Aren't
cute.
Aren't they adorable?
They're eating your tampons.
Yeah, they rip animals apart in the backyard.
Buddy, is your paw hurt? Yeah, it doesn't feel too good. Did you lick her butt yet?
I have a question for you, Steve.
Lay it on me.
Should I get into the Bachelorette stuff here in a little bit, or we can?
We did it as a separate segment.
We can parse it out here if you want. All right, so Jed, pop the question.
All right.
We got the clip here.
Now this is the dummy who is a up and coming musician, and to this point, the only thing he's sold is a dog food jingle.
Hey, that's an accomplishment. That's
it's not even a good dog food jingle.
I would love to see throughout the series when he's talking to the camera and saying, I'm really just looking to find someone that I can fall in love with and all this. And at the end of this going, well, I really did this for my career because I figured it would boost my visibility a little bit.
Right.
That's really what I was doing.
But if you're trying to paint yourself as sort of an emotional, in-touch singer-songwriter, and this is the way you treat this girl, it's not going to really work for you.
Oh, we have his jingle. Marissa just sent over his dog food jingle.
Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Rain or shine, kind of love like nothing you've seen before.
No. This is for dog food?
It's for dog food.
Okay.
And the dog is waiting.
The dog's what?
The dog's waiting for the master to come home.
Okay.
And it's a high-quality dog food.
Okay. Is the dog wearing something sexy?
Sexy, lingerie, yeah. And has a dildo in one paw.
Okay.
The dog really does deserve the best. Go pick him up some better balls.
You know, and the thing, it's metaphor. Okay, so here's the deal. And his reason for doing the commercial is real because this is the food that he's been eating at home himself because the career's not going well. Man, I love this stuff. You put it on some bread, it's delicious.
And then the last birthday today, our favorite butthole, Hope Solo.
Hope Solo's butthole.
Hope Solo, the goaltender for the women's U.S. Soccer team. And then we found out there was a Twitter account called Hope Solo's Butthole because she had posted naked pictures of herself, and apparently you could see that particular part of her body, and somebody took upon that name, and we just thought it was funny.
Our favorite Twitter account. That and Bill Weston's hair.
Do you remember she had, there was some controversy of her being abusive, I think it was?
Yes, to an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
A family member, too, right?
Yeah, something along those lines.
She beat the hell out of like a niece or nephew or something?
I've forgotten, but...
she was arrested in 2014, charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of assault and in the 4th degree.
Wow. Lest I remind you that her butthole has never been arrested.
Not once.
Yeah.
How old is she?
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We're going to have to arrest your butthole.
WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Our next guest has made some pretty awesome, explosive, viral TikTok videos and goes by the name Pearlmania 500.
Yes, sir.
But his name is Alex Pearlman.
Yeah.
He's right here in our studio with us this morning and has got a gig coming up not until September.
Yeah, well, I booked
at
it.
Helium.
I booked it before everything went super viral. I think they would have moved me up sooner, but then I was thinking about it. I got all this media stuff going on. Why not go promote a show 3 months in advance instead of waiting for the morning of?
Yeah.
So that way I'm tired. How many guys have you had in here coming in 7 a.m.? Hey, by the way, I'm on tonight. My first show's at 10 p.m. And anyway, driving in the morning when they're listening to that, they're driving in at 7 a.m. I'm not going to be up at 11.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
go ahead and
we
give them
just-
3 months in advance.
Just promoted the Tina Fey show in December.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, right. You-
Look, we're changing. Media's changing.
Absolutely, man.
Let's start
Why-
actually setting calendars.
Why do it in the moment?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're from the area?
Yeah, I'm from the area.
Where?
Originally Delco.
Okay.
So, but right on the Delco-Chesco line.
Okay.
So that's
But
where
doesn't have the Delco pride.
I don't have. Well, it depends. It depends. When I get mad, it comes out. And my mom's from the South, so when she gets mad, it goes Southern. When I get mad, it goes Delco. And then my wife's from Northeast Philly. When she's just mad.
So who's the maddest? Because that's an interesting study.
Yeah.
Northeast Philly, Delco. The South can get mad.
Yeah.
But so between the two, who gets madder more efficiently?
More efficiently, I think Delco.
Delco.
I think we get it down like faster. You know,
Right,
like in
right.
the South, like they get mad and they hold on to that for like 150 years. They won't give up the flag. It's
Yeah.
a longer mad.
Right, yeah.
You
yeah.
know, like
They
in Delco,
ruminate.
like we're gonna be mad now. We're gonna fist fight about it. But listen, at Tina's christening, it's squash.
Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You get back. It's family. That's how it goes.
That's an interesting take on it. I think that's right. Now, we were talking earlier about, obviously, what in all the big story, the list of Congo line of big stories that have been taking place locally, this amazing, this horrific first bridge collapse and now amazing repair job that they're doing. You were down there.
Yeah, no, it was weird because I got invited by the governor to go down to go.
Because you have a viral TikTok presence.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people will know you
Yeah,
from.
and that's what they said. They said more people were getting the news more from one single source came from my video than any one other agency. So they had me down there next to, my Fox Philly and ABC and everything else in the line. And when I showed up, and I kept thinking it was a joke.
Right.
I
They were
get
gonna
weird
pants you.
emails ever since my account got bigger and bigger. I get weird. Somebody from feetfinder.com wants me to sponsor them. You know what I mean? Like it just keeps going.
Wow.
So I don't click these links most of the time. So I get this email and I show up and they just let me stroll around. And it's, it was a weird moment. And then I made the video. And as I'm there, the governor's office people, because I think it was just like a bet. I think somebody in the office was like, we should do this. It'll get the information out more. And I think they're all like, yeah, whatever. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And then I did the video and it two videos went viral, got another 1 million views.
Oh my god!
And then they started inviting me to more stuff. And then before I knew it, I was locked in a hangar with the president of the United States.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. But I brought it with me. This is part of the stone.
Okay.
That glass stone that they.
Oh my!
Oh, wow.
So he brought a piece of this. This is that filler, that fiberglass and thing. It is super lightweight.
Super light. It feels like pumice.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. You could probably,
Yeah, you can scrape that on your foot in the shower.
Casey, feel that.
So, by the way,
Delco
if
made,
you can,
by the way.
If for people who are perhaps not close to a shower or feel their feet are a little rough, go by and rub your feet on the side of the structure.
Yeah, walk.
No, 95 is now it's built-in pedicure.
Hold on. Casey broke it, Alex.
Oh no! Listen. Don't say it into the mic, all right? Because now people will be worried about the road.
I was already worried about it.
No, I think they've been using it. I was reading they've been using it in Virginia. No, that's fine. Keep passing it around.
Right,
now we got 2 pieces.
Show and tell.
I had 3. I had to give one. I gave one to my father-in-law, and I gave one to somebody at work. And then I wasn't supposed to have 3, but once the Secret Service left the airport, there was a bucket of it, and nobody else was taking it. I just took it.
By the way, you put a couple of tons of this stuff on.
It layers.
The pressure will have to be more than.
Well, here's the thing: is it's glass, and they grind it down into a powder. And the guy was explaining it to us, and it's in Delco.
Yeah.
And my one thought, again, I'm standing next to all these press people, and I'm just trying to be quiet, and they're all just doing their jobs. And my one thought is I bet there's going to be Bud Light bottles in there. I-95 is woke now. Like, that was my one thought. Is like, now, all right, you can't go to Target, you can't drink Bud Light, you can't drive on I-95. What are these people going to do now?
So the structure as it is right now, because what I was amazed is how clean it looks. Like it's a clean surface on the side. The plan is to, obviously, this is temporary. When they roll over, did they give you any indication as to what because this is a massive step to have it up and running by this weekend.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, they have to take care of the road that was underneath.
Yeah.
And so did they give you an indication as when a plan for that will kick in?
I don't know.
You're now the man to go to?
Apparently. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. That is, I've been getting the same information the same way almost everybody else. That's the weirdest part about my TikTok becoming like a news TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I'll get people who will write in the comments and they'll say things like, why isn't the news covering this? I'm like, because you don't read the news.
Right, yeah.
And they're like, I trust you more than anybody else. I'm like, well, I got it from the Philly Inquirer.
Yeah.
I got it from Yahoo News. I heard it on Preston and Steve. I listen to NPR, and I just figure out a way to say it that people will listen to.
Right.
Because it's just, that's the biggest thing is people don't leave a lot of these social media services. So some people only go and look at Instagram all day.
You've got to check out, you always have to check out multiple sources.
Yeah, you got to go to multiple sources.
Yeah.
And most people don't even go to their web browser anymore. So part of it was just, I read stuff, I react to it. And I realized over time, I was just reacting to stories and making funny videos about it. And then people were like, you taught me so much information. And then I realized that just explain it in a way that makes sense. So, just baseline things. I've discovered that people don't understand percentages. The average person doesn't understand percentages. The basic concept of a percentage, they don't understand that? They really don't, because you go to the comments and you watch what people are arguing about. And when you go in there, you'll start to realize, hey, this guy doesn't understand when they say 30%. There's the old saying, like the quarter pounder, right?
Yeah.
Quarter pound with cheese. I think Burger King rolled out a third pounder.
Right, yeah.
Right? Yeah. People still bought the quarter pounder more because 4 is a higher number. Because people don't understand fractions.
Yeah.
And what is a fraction? A percentage is a description of a fraction.
Right, yeah.
And so sitting there, and it's not people's fault. It's, you're sitting there in 8th grade. When am I ever going to need to know percentages? And then you go on the news and COVID or something hits. They're like, it's up 10%. Well, what does that mean? What are we basing it on? So I try to not I don't like to use the word dumb it down. I try to just make it understandable enough.
Well,
so then if you want more information, you can go search for that more.
You're avoiding the traps that a lot of these, we marvel at it. We're in a communication industry, and yet you'll find a whole collection of people who have horrible communication skills. So, and that's what happens. So the news, the way, they're used to disseminating this information becomes rote. And so they don't realize if you could just, we were talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson earlier. He said, well, here, let me explain it like a baseball game or whatever. It's not condescending. It's not everyone's wheelhouse.
No.
It's percentages.
Well, my mom was a teacher, right?
Yeah.
She was a Latin teacher over in New Jersey at Clearview Regional High School. So she taught Latin.
Yeah.
So that's worthless.
That's tough.
You know, I mean, I know she's listening. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
But you know, it's Latin's a dead language, right?
Yeah.
But she was, while she was learning to become a better teacher, she would say like random things. I'd pick it up, and she was like, "Did you know there's 3 types of learners? You know, there's visual, there's auditory, and then there's reading learners."
Right.
So some people take in information in different ways. So I try to do that in different ways and keep that in mind. Somebody could be sitting here and we could be having a conversation, and until I hold up a phone with a graph on it, you don't get it.
Do you find a delineation? And it is kind of weird because I spend all day reading. I read lots of stuff.
Yeah.
However, I don't liken it to an actual holding a newspaper or a book. And though it is simply reading, it's the same thing, yet somehow in my mind, I'm not really reading because I'm reading off a screen, but I am.
Yeah.
And that's a bizarre take. I fought audiobooks forever because I'm like, that's cheating. And then I'm like, I cannot consume all that I want to consume reading wise. And then when I made my pact with the devil, I friggin' love them.
Yeah, well, that's with podcasts.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Exactly
with
the
podcasts.
justification I use.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, I listen to so many history podcasts, especially, and I love them. And I have my own podcast. I should plug it. It's called Pearlmania 500.
Yeah.
It's been going pretty good. My wife and I both do a deep dive on any sort of topic. And
do you focus locally, or is it just anything?
Anything.
Absolutely
anything. I did the biography of Hulk Hogan. She does, different celebrities and things like that. I also did the Spanish Inquisition, and we do like 2 hours, and she reacts. And that's what the show is kind of
Very
about.
nice.
Alex, what's the best way for you to retain information? Because I find like when I read something, especially when Steve's referring to like a book or a physical thing, I retain it better that way. If I hear it or I see it online, I don't necessarily retain it.
It depends. For me, it's telling somebody else. So if I find it interesting, it's the same thing. Like I've had a lot of jobs, right? I was a mall security guard. I was a karate instructor. I've been a campaign manager. Just tons of different jobs. Every time, you know how you have that feel. What's that thing they call imposter syndrome?
Yes.
You know how you get over imposter syndrome? You train someone else how to do your job. That's it. That's the end of the day. So every time I was at a job for like 3 or 6 months, and I'd sit there and be like, I can't believe I got this job. I can't believe I'm paying more money. I can't believe I have health insurance. This is stupid.
Yeah.
And then they bring in somebody new, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is how you void a check. This is how you do that. And the second I did that, I was like, oh, yeah, they should be paying me more. Like instantly. Now I'm like, now I'm underpaid.
I think that has a lot of validity.
Yeah.
So I am being hosed here.
Yeah.
No, but that whole thing, and we've talked about the imposter syndrome. I forget who we were talking about at an ultra high level. Who has it? People that you would scarcely imagine have the imposter syndrome, who are like the top of the tops in their field.
That's what's crazy. From doing stand-up, right? I did stand-up for 20 years. I started in 2002 when I was 18. My dad asked me what I wanted to do with my life right before I went to college.
Right.
And I said, I want to be a stand-up comedian. He was like, go do it. He figured I'd do it, and then I'd become an accountant. I went, and I failed. And it was the first thing. I've always been like a C+ student if I didn't try. It was really easy, just go and do stuff. I'm like, I can at least put C for every answer. We're almost all the way there. It's a multiple choice. We all know that.
Yeah.
So I went and I failed, and I felt real bad. And I kept showing up. And then 6 months later, I got my first laugh, and I was like, I didn't know how that worked. But then I spent the next 15, 20 years just going to these different clubs. And the craziest part was the people with the least amount of talent had the absolute most confidence. And the people with the least confidence were the funniest people I ever met in my life.
I can reel off names of people because I did stand up for a while.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, Preston, I'm sure you. What?
And you guys have done the Phillies Funniest and all those things. You guys have been judges on some of those things.
Yeah.
Now, you guys usually do the finals and the semis, so you don't get to see the psychos in round one. Those round one helium psychos, man. Oh, my God. I used to go to opening night, and I used to live tweet them.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and like the threats I'd get afterwards from these guys who were like, I'm the funniest dude at my truck depot. And I'm like, well, you stood in silence for 3 minutes, my friend.
It sounds like there's a description. I forgot what the scientific term is for it, but it's there are people who have who feel that they are way smarter than they actually are. The
Dunning-Kruger
effect.
Yeah, I have that.
And then the opposite of that, they're super intelligent, well overqualified people that feel that they aren't good enough.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that imposter syndrome thing. And they say that flat earthers are the ones that have the other version of that.
Yeah.
Which is like, I know, these guys don't know anything. I know what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, that's what's been wild. Like, there was a bit as stuff was blowing up. You know, my last name's Pearlman. You know, so you can figure out where what I believe in.
Right.
But there's people like on the internet and stuff like that be like, this is where you get all the truth from. And then I go to their page and I'm like, you don't like my people. And I just start looking through it.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm not. And I was like, I'm going to make a video of that. My wife was like, do not.
You would think that you would, at least if you're going to make it a little bit more discreet, you don't make it your opening page stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're like maybe a picture of you and your dog, and then a couple pages in you have your
drop that early. I just real quick. I'm just so proud I haven't cursed yet. That's just been amazing.
Yes,
for me.
I've watched a couple of your videos.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Alex Pearlman, by the way, and you can check out his social media, Pearlmania 500. That's on TikTok. Where were you a mall security guard?
Got to hear that.
Oh,
That's
Exton
exactly what I was
Square
gonna
Mall.
ask.
Exton Square Mall.
Yeah, I had a moment there recently. Yeah.
The mall or the expanded outdoor areas that they've created out there?
Well,
The
no,
indoor
just the mall. I was there in 2009, and it was then we were like the mall's dead.
Was this
right?
Yes. And it's still there.
Now, did you know karate at this point, or did you have to?
Yeah, no, I knew karate, but I didn't use it.
All right.
They were paying me $7.25 an hour in 2009 because that was the minimum wage in 2009.
Right.
It's the minimum wage today too.
It is.
I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah.
I heard on the way up, and Casey pointed out to me that the PA State House just passed that they want to raise it to $15 an hour. Now it's got to go to the state Senate. And again, we don't think about this stuff as a community, and as people. Most of us don't even know who our state senator is. And when I tell people, I'm like, oh, it's the state senator. Like, I don't know what that means.
Right.
So like trying to explain baseline information. I'm like, hey, and these guys are in your community. Like you might see them on the street. Like
You can actually, when you feel a sense of desperation about DC and so on and so forth. At the one last possibility is at your local level.
Yeah.
So it is important.
Yeah.
No matter what you believe, but just be passionate about it.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, like, you start out, if you're lucky enough to have a city council, you get your city council, and then you go from there to maybe a township supervisor or mayor, and then you jump up to your county commissioner. Then you get to your state rep, your state senator.
Mall security.
Yeah, mall security guard. Come to us last. We'll get back to the mall.
By the way, I watched your video on the minimum wage last night. Casey had sent it to me, and I just sent back one comment. I just said, dude. And then Casey came back to me. He's like, is that dude bad or dude good? I'm like, it's dude good. I'm like, it was hilarious.
Yeah, with so many people. There was guys doing emo covers of it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No,
they were playing. I mean, you can't play it on the radio. I curse so much in that thing. It would just be one long bleep. But there's guys who'd come in. They were like, no, this is the Midwest emo cover. So it would be me talking, and then the guy comes in with the guitar, and then somebody else stitched it, and then they play in bass. Somebody else does it.
That's cool. I love that.
All the stuff. It's weird.
So you obviously ranting is part of your deal. It sounds like a Lewis Black level.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you do to balance that? What is your zen to balance it?
Picking up dog poop in my backyard.
That's it.
No, I'm dead serious. It's just doing stuff around my house and having my wife. Like my wife keeps me grounded. Every time I think I'm like, babe, I just met the president. And she's like, we have to go to the grocery store. And I'm like, okay, I mean, you guys know. You'll be sitting here and you'll have the biggest comedians in the world or a rock star. And you're like, this feels great. And then you still got to go pick the kids up from school.
The visa bill still comes.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yep. Do you get upset at commenters on your own social media?
I used to.
And you've learned not to?
Yeah, because of my wife.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and I'll read like the craziest thing. They'll be like, this guy's wrong about everything, blah, blah. A lot of times my stuff will get reposted on Reddit, and I have a love-hate relationship with Reddit, and they'll post it, and they'll be like, why is he always yelling? And I'm like, well, that's how you saw the video.
Yeah.
If I was going, the minimum wage in Pennsylvania is $7.20. Who's watching that? It's an attention economy. So, and I'd sit there, I'm like, they're wrong. And she's like, yeah, they're also sad and alone. That's why they're commenting. Because I don't write as many comments anymore, because if I see something cool, I show it to my wife. That's the comment. I have a human being to share it with.
Do you look at I look at it as this way. I've spent so much of my professional life going after celebrities or people in the news. I never civilians.
Yeah.
And so in as much as that's the case, if someone wants to come after me, I'll have at it, because that's it. And so I look at it as part of the job. Is that
then that negativity coming back to you is within reason is part of the job.
Look, it's the changing scape. It's the changing landscape of media,
Yeah.
right? You know, like they used to be, you wanted to have your station, like, you know, be everybody. We want everybody. We want 100% of all listeners. Now you go and you look and you're like, how do I get 1%?
Right.
You know, and then those people, do they like me? You know, am I doing the right information? Like the biggest thing that blew my mind, remember during the Alex Jones trial, the Sandy Hook trial, when they declared that he was making $150 million a year selling fake pills, you know, the hair oil pills and all those different things. I was like, you make $150, and he never got a better camera. Like I was losing it.
That drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy. Are you guys pulling $150 million a year fake pill hair? I mean, I know you aren't, Steve.
Yes, absolutely. I tapped out a while ago. But we talk about that. Here's something that drives me crazy. If we're talking about stuff that drives you crazy, the public address alerts that'll come over your TV.
Yeah,
they've got to have better audio equipment.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's the worst I've ever.
Well, we got to spend all that money to go find billionaires in a tube. That's where that money. I mean, you know, but we should go back to the Exton Square Mall. You had so many questions, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
Yes, please. What was the experience
I think the NDA finally ran out. It was just it was very public facing.
How accurate? You remember the Seth Rogen film where he was the?
It was
that
one. Actually, no. The one I thought was more accurate. Who's the other guy from he does the evangelical show?
Righteous Gemstones guy.
Righteous
Danny
Gemstone.
McBride.
Danny McBride. He had a movie at the same time. I don't remember the Protect and Serve.
Oh, okay.
Protect and Serve was the absolute, because it's dark.
Yeah.
And I was like, some of these dudes I worked with, I was like, yeah, that's them.
Really?
It was just sad and it was dark. I mean, some of them.
Well, Seth Rogen's was pretty dark too. That was Observe and Report.
Yeah.
That was with Anna. Was that Anna Faris?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I might be thinking of a different movie.
Yeah,
maybe that is the one I'm
Seth
thinking
Rogen
of.
one
That
is
was
dark.
pretty accurate.
He's like, he gets carried away.
Oh yeah.
Not Paul Blart.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, that Paul Blart came out while I was a mall cop, and I worked with a dude who looked exactly like him.
Kevin James?
And teenagers, when teenagers used to hang out in malls, right? They would lay into him. They'd be like, all right, Paul Blart. And then I remember him he tried to actually like make it make sense to the teenager. He's like, Paul Blart made $100 million over the weekend. That means mall cops are popular. And then the kid looked at me and goes, your mustache is stupid. He didn't say that word, but it's radio.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the darkness was...
Yeah.
You touched on, meaning the other security officers?
Yeah, it's a general job, you know? You know, first thing, you're a fake cop. You know, the people don't understand a lot of times with security guards, and for the most part, you're a walking camera that can then show up to court later.
Right.
That's it. My job is to fill out reports, and it's literally observe and report. I had to used to yell at guys because half the squad that was younger than me, they were all going to be cops, and a lot of them did become cops, and you had to do a certain amount of public-facing security work to do that with the academy. The other half, that's just where they put people, and like some of these dudes, like they shouldn't have been driving a truck, and we had to drive around outside.
Yeah,
and I would see these guys, they'd be talking to people. I'm like, that's not how you talk to anybody. And they were, you know, and so the company actually loved me because I was in this middle ground where like I didn't care enough to like get them in trouble by chasing somebody.
Right.
But I also didn't want extra responsibility because, again, I was being paid $7.25 an hour. And then they were like, do you want to be a shift supervisor? I was like, sure. I'm expecting them to say $10, $11 an hour. I'm like, what does that pay? And they're like, $7.75. And I said, absolutely not. I did the math. I'm like, 50 cents more an hour. And now I got to be in. Now when things happen, it's me? No.
Did you get any, were there any mall considerations? Did you have any sort of
comps?
Yes, one. The only comp I used, well, two actually, and they were both in the food court. One was Salad Works. Ooh. There was this one kid, Nick, he hated his job, and he liked me. So he just gave me free salads all the time. That was just free. But that was just because I'm me.
You remember their slogan, the original salad tossers?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes. That was their slogan, the original salad tossers.
The other one was Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A would give me the policeman's discount. Oh. And I thought that was like boss.
Too shabby.
Yeah. So, yeah, I basically got a free milkshake every time. That was it.
I love it. We talked about this many times before. It's sad that sort of mall culture has, because it was so
I like that.
essential to
I
a
miss
kid.
it.
Yeah.
I miss it. I really do. I miss just seeing people walk around and be among each other and like just do that type of stuff. I mean, between COVID and the internet, like things have been fracturing more and real estate and all that stuff. It's just tough.
I know we got to wrap up in just a second, but I do want to ask how you quit smoking. Is that still?
Yes.
You're holding tight.
You want to see the patch?
Yeah, man.
I got it on right
Yeah.
here. I got it on right here. 20 days.
How many
We're
days?
on day 20 right now.
20 days.
Wow. You know, I
Dude,
went to
stick
that.
it out. I quit like 21 years ago.
Oh, wow.
He replaced it with alcohol.
Oh, that's
for, for 2 weeks, I drank heavily. Here's okay.
Yeah.
So what I did is I found that my weakest moment of smoking, like when I could not resist it, was when I was drinking.
Gotcha.
So I decided it was actually about 10 days to get hammered every night and force myself to learn to not smoke while drinking.
That's unhealthy.
I know.
That's the most unhealthy thing I've ever heard.
Warning, the side effect was he became a raging alcoholic. No, he didn't.
Yeah. You know, one thing I did years ago, because I worked at a place where they like wanted you to do a smoking cessation or else your insurance went up. I think he was on your show. I went to the hypnotist.
Yes, Dr. Mosberg. Yes.
Did not work. Not for me.
So it doesn't. He says it doesn't work. But we've had people walk out of here, and that was that done.
Listen, it's one of those things. There's so many different ways to do it. I am going to be probably doing something with the American Lung Association soon. Just go try to get more information and get more stuff out there. You know, it's just one of those weird moments. A lot of people get in the comments like, "You inspired me." I'm like, "That's weird. I don't ever want to be your inspiration. You don't know what I do on my weekends, brother." But on September 23rd, which is a Saturday at 4:30 p.m., so there's no excuse because you can definitely get home in time for bed. I will be at Helium Comedy Club with 5 other comedians opening. They're all really great local people that I want to have more people see.
There's super funny people
all
in
really
this area.
funny.
Really, it's a great area, especially this comedy scene now is one of the nation's best. Absolutely.
I'd say it's the best in the world. But that's me.
Yeah.
You know, we're Philly. We want to, and our comedians are used to dealing with probably some of the most, I don't want to say toxic, but one of the most discerning audiences in the world.
Yeah.
You're not going to get this type of audience in New York. You're not going to get that in LA. And, the closest is maybe Chicago. But, you don't have to duck as many bullets to go to the show. It's at 4:30 p.m.
Absolutely cool.
Well, Alex, before then is September 23rd. It's a little while from now.
Yeah.
Let's get you on again before then. Just
I would
to remind
love to.
people what's going on because obviously you've got a lot to talk about.
Listen, I just keep going. That's why my podcast is 2 hours long.
You can find him on TikTok, Pearlmania 500. And the same thing. That's the name of your podcast as well.
Yeah,
right?
that's the name of my podcast, my Instagram, everything
Pearlmania
except
500.
Twitter. I don't use Twitter anymore.
All right. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Helium Comedy Club, September 23rd. Tickets at heliumcomedy.com for Alex Pearlman. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Hang in there, gang.
Thank you, fellas.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
It's MMR's Local Shots. Artist of the Month.
Why does anybody talk to me about it?
This is not right. Get my lawyer. What, do you just expect me to pucker up and go along?
Right,
Sorry, Mr. Butthole.
Oh, yeah.
Mister.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Hope Solo and her butthole.
You guys are just being wacky.
They both turned 38 today.
They're both 38. He's one of the co-creators of the band Mr. Big. Is one of the biggest, most badass guitarists in the world, in my humble opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program, Mr. Paul Gilbert. I want to explain to some people who may not know the name Paul Gilbert. You have a lot of fans. Most guitarists would know who you are.
Everybody who knows me knows me.
Yeah, exactly, right?
100% of those
But I've only had one. I was only famous for 2 weeks in 1992. So that's
So, Paul, when I do meet people and we're talking music and I'll say, well, one of my favorite guitarists knows this guy, Paul Gilbert. If they're a guitarist, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Some people don't, and I have to explain. Okay, so, he was in this band, Mr. Big. Before that, there was this band called Racer X. You may or may not know. Metal, real intense, shredding, crazy, really technical, awesome music. But then I try to explain your solo career as well.
good luck.
And that's so it's hard to quantify it, because there's elements of blues and jazz and metal and all this stuff. What's a good way to describe your music?
Well, it's still evolving, and the discovery I made was that I really always wanted to be not a guitar player, but a lead singer. Because when I was a kid, those were the records I had. My parents had the Beatles records and Stones and bands that had lead vocalists. And I liked Led Zeppelin because Robert Plant had a great voice. Now, I didn't have a particularly great voice, and that didn't stop me from trying.
Right.
But it also didn't stop me from kind of, not doing as well as I would have liked to as a lead singer. So the discovery that I made on this new album, Behold Electric Guitar, is that I can actually play the vocal line on the guitar. So, take it like a really challenging vocal, like, the "Hey, Mama said the way you move," which, with my little falsetto is not so great.
Right.
But, you play it on guitar. And suddenly, those notes are there. And it's just, it's my responsibility to get them right, but at least I can hit them.
Well, I was mentioning to you the song Let That Battery Die, which is on the new album, and that is exactly what I thought. I'm like, it sounds like someone singing.
Yeah, well, that's how I wrote the tunes, was that I would have a lyric, and, the initial lyrics for that were like, what was it? My battery is low, but my mind is high. And again, I'm squeaking it out.
Yeah.
But with the guitar, I can get a lot of control and a nice tone. And so for the first time in my life, I'm actually able to connect my inner melodic generator with an instrument that functions.
Can you give us a little of the Rocky you were playing before, the Rocky theme?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
The YouTube thing you mentioned is amazing. I grew up with albums, so I never expected to communicate with the world that way. And I do have to mention one. If you're in YouTube, there's one where I was doing a clinic and I had this little loop pedal, and I decided to put like the most scary, frightening shred lick that I could ever do inside the loop pedal. So I just pressed the button and it goes. And I would pretend to play with my teeth, and then I would press that button, and the whole audience was like, "Oh my God!" and so of course
he's playing with his teeth.
Yeah, he was playing sweep picking with his teeth. How did he do that? And it was a guitar clinic, so everybody raised their hands and goes like, "How did you do that with your teeth?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty impressive to do sweep picking with your teeth, but I said it's really impressive to do it with your ass."
Oh, yes.
And then I just wiped the guitar,
That's
on
great.
my backside.
Yeah.
And I'm still a fan of the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Aerosmith and the regular rock bands. And so now I can step on stage and really be the lead singer via my guitar.
Hey, I had a story that keys off of teachers, and I thought this was kind of interesting. This is out of, where is this? Somewhere in the South. I think it's in the...
is it Florida?
No, it's North Carolina. The teacher at Northeast Carolina Preparatory School in Tarboro, North Carolina, had apparently punished one of their students. By punish, I mean making them write a phrase over and over and over and over again.
A la Bart Simpson.
Because he called her ma'am.
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, and she didn't like it, and so he had to write the word "ma'am" numerous times. His teacher asked him to write it. He told his mother that he had to return this with the parent's signature after he repeatedly called her the word, despite being told not to do so.
Okay, well, if she told him not to, then...
Yeah, he completed his assignment during class hours, which made his mom worry that maybe it had interfered with some of schoolwork.
Yes.
According to the mom, Mrs. Wilson, the teacher also told the young boy that if she had something, she would have thrown it at him. I'm sorry, said to the boy. So if she would have had something, she would have thrown it at him. After the mom signed the paper, she had also had the boy write down the definition of ma'am, which is a term of respectful or polite address used for a woman, according to Oxford dictionaries. There's some people that hate being called ma'am. And
I hate it.
my wife uses ma'am as a sign of respect when she's on the phone with someone asking for help.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
It
You
is,
know?
and especially as you start to go south, you're going to find it is a term. It is a respectful way to refer to people.
Yeah.
I would it's a weird thing, and I know, Preston, you're right. For ma'am to set someone off?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've always known it as a respectful way to refer to someone.
Maybe she's younger and she doesn't want to feel old.
Yeah,
or something like
that's
that.
how I see it. I see it as an older woman. So when I remember the first time he was a kid, probably a high school kid, called me ma'am, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, I didn't tell him don't call me that, but it made me feel old.
It's not.
Did he just say ma'am?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I never.
Was it the word that set the teacher off, or was it the fact that the kid was repeating it over and over?
I don't know.
Well, it had to be the initial thing graded on her because she asked him to stop saying it.
Yeah.
But if he's used to saying it as a sign of respect
Right.
to, you know, like somebody in an authoritative manner, like then you just got to get that flag out of your butt and get over it, right, Press?
I would think so. Yeah, get the flag out of your butt.
Yeah.
Did I say that one day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was I was hiking around the area, you know, maybe on Friday, said hello to this young feller, probably 13 or 14. How are you? How's it going? Very well, sir. I'm like, yeah.
It's a title. It's a title.
We're not this kid walking along. You know, that you come with me. I want to show other people what you just did because it was so good.
It's a title you've earned.
I earned it.
Hey, here's a text that says, women should know better than to call other women ma'am. I joke that they're traitors. And then she writes, it's well known that most women don't like it. What do you mean? How do you know that?
Because that extensive survey she took.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe amongst a handful of your friends or something. But what do you mean most women?
Yeah, but I would agree with that.
But how do you know most women?
Because anybody, I mean, just anyone that I know, it's not like I took a survey, but anyone I know would agree.
Then it's got to be everyone.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the thing, too. I think it's, no, but I do, like you said, it's regional. Do you know what I mean? It's
I can see that.
In the South, yes, they do that. They're here, not as much.
But I've born and bred in, you know, Northeast, and ma'am to me was always a sign of respect. And I would say ma'am.
Or maybe is it an older thing? Like it, you
I don't know.
Like I don't know. I just.
You keep going back to old.
No,
old
the standard thing would be pretty good, ma'am. Wouldst thou takest me?
But here's the deal. I think it's all about intent. And if you hear someone saying it clearly as a sign of respect, you should understand that they're just being polite.
Yes, of course. I'm not going to get mad at them, but it doesn't make me like it. It's still,
right.
I still think it's.
I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
One gosh darn bit. I'm looking at my activities list.
Oh, God.
No, I listen, and if it rings to your ear and you don't like it, you can simply say, "Oh, it's okay. You don't have to call me ma'am, or I'll punch you in the throat."
Yeah.
I would never read it as an insulting thing. That's a way to respect.
It's your own fault for being old. Jesus Christ.
No,
What's with you and that aging thing?
It's not insulting. It's just. We just don't like it.
And that's fine. But all right, it's your personal
I don't
preference.
think somebody saying it to me is insulting me.
All right, but what
But
do
I
you
just
want
don't
your
like
server?
it.
What do you want your waiter or waitress to call you when they go up
Sugar
to your
teas.
table? Yeah.
Young lady, maybe?
Young, sorry, I'm lady.
Oh my God, she has to see my ID.
Now we're living in a fantasy.
Now you're getting into pandering territory.
I haven't been underage for 38 years.
Wait, let me tell you something that happened on Saturday. I have to tell you this. So I went out for Preston. I went out for my birthday, and we went into the bar, and they were carding everyone as we were walking in. And me, I was with Elisa. You know, we're both 40, and she goes, "Oh, let's see if we get carded." So we walk up to him, and we stand there, and he goes, "Hi," and so we were like, "Do you want to see our ID?" He goes, "Sure, if you want to hand it to me."
See, he did. I want to see what you think of this, Kathy. Kim Kardashian, Chrissy Teigen, Queer Eye's Tan France, and trans model Andreja Pajic are sporting some eye-catching new accessories. It's all in the name of Simon Huck's conceptual art experience called A Human, and it's already roiling social media. So Kim has a glowing necklace, and it looks like it's implanted in her skin.
But Preston, okay, and I wanted to ask you about this. It's clearly not an implant.
Right.
It is a flesh-colored thing made to look like an implant.
And it lights up, Kathy.
That freaks me out.
But you've got to
it gets worse.
Marissa, see if you can find she's on social media and there's a comment. She says it
lights
going
up
to
like
my
my
heartbeat.
heart.
And just her, and she looks like an android, dude.
To begin with,
I know
Like
it's
this,
so.
Preston.
It's such a shame.
She's got the lips like.
Yes. Yeah. Full on.
me see.
Full on constructed duck lips, so she doesn't have to make the
She doesn't
pout
have to do duck
anymore. It
lips.
does it automatically.
Close to the beat of my heart.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this. And I'm like, who finds that? It's dysmorphia. We're looking at video. Look at this, Kathy. It lights up and it looks like it's under your skin.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Kind of wild.
Well, there's a couple of different ones, Preston. So Chrissy Teigen had one. There was a disgusting one that I think it might have been the trans model had, where it looks like almost like mushrooms growing out of their neck.
Oh,
yeah.
This is just somebody who has a lot of money, so is going to pay them to do this. This isn't going to be a fashion trend.
But you can't.
Are you too expensive?
And
Yeah,
exactly,
no, it's not.
How would you pay to get this put on? It's got to be a fairly
And if
elaborate
it is,
process.
it's going to be so quick.
Well, now I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, guys.
Here's our fashionista.
Well, I mean, for the people who don't have that kind of money to spend on a glow necklace, okay? And that's all that is just a stupid glow necklace. What if it was like some sort of like thing that you could insert glow necklaces into, Kathy?
WMMR.
No, thanks.
All right.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Horizon Services. When you have an AC breakdown, you need it repaired today. Horizon Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing repairs your system the same day or you don't pay. And you can book online at horizonezbook.com. It's from a little while ago. I didn't get a chance to get to it, but a social media influencer died soon after live streaming himself drinking several bottles of strong alcohol on China's version of TikTok. State-run media in the country are reporting in a development likely to renew debate about how to regulate the industry.
China has what is their version of TikTok called?
They have Weibo, which I think is their version of Twitter. So I'm not
Maybe
sure
their TikTok.
what the TikTok is, but. The influencer, whose name is San Quanj, which means a brother 3000, was found dead just hours after broadcasting himself taking part in completion with a fellow influencer, which involved drinking Baijiu, which is a Chinese spirit with a typical alcohol content between 30 to 60%.
Holy hat! Well, then you're just begging to die.
Yeah, and
it's alcohol poisoning.
Forgot how many he drank, but it didn't take long, and he died shortly after that. It will kill you, friends, if you drink too much. Late for his flight, a Delta Airlines passenger began banging on the door at his boarding gate in New Orleans. Perhaps he didn't realize that this door is closed. When it's closed, there's literally no one on the other side to open it back up. Pounding on the door doesn't get anybody's attention, but
who is it?
So once that door is closed, it's highly unlikely to be reopened. You need a gate agent, but this man wasn't giving up. He decided to make an announcement broadcast on the airport's public address system to demand that he be allowed to board his flight.
So, would he just grab one of the handsets?
I guess so. And
I want to get out and fly!
His language gets a bit not safe for work as he implores someone to open this mother effing gate.
Open this mother effing gate!
Not only is it, did he not make his flight, but of course you can quickly get taken into custody. I don't know what ended up happening to him, but apparently he was not having it.
My dad did that one time. This was pre 9/11, and we were in Chicago, and he got to the gate, and they had closed the door. My brothers and I were on the plane. And the gate agent says, "I'm sorry, sir, the plane has departed." And he says, "No, it hasn't. I see it. It's right there." And like 20 minutes later, we saw him walking on the plane. He was able to make it happen.
What?
Yeah. I mean, again, it was a different time.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen now.
It would
There's no way. Wow. A dog lover named Toko spent 2 million yen, or about $12,000, for a realistic collie costume.
Yes.
To fulfill his dream of being a dog. And I mean, it looks real.
It's pretty, like when the dog is, when he's laying down or sort of not moving a lot, you would think it's a collie. It's when he starts tap dancing that the jig is up.
To transform into a Lassie lookalike, Toko ordered the fit from a movie and TV costume maker. On YouTube, his channel shows him walking around on all fours and enjoying life as a pup. However, he says that there are still limitations. He said, if you move too much, it will not look like a dog. Look at this, Kathy. That's the dude in the suit.
They say, he says, it's
crazy.
Realize his lifelong dream of smelling people's asses.
He said his latest video has more than 650,000 views so far. Comments are mixed, with some finding the channel wholesome and others stating that the dog outfit has an uncanny valley feel to it.
So what date do you whip that on the girl in your apartment?
God.
I want to show you something.
Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy.
Do we know how much it is?
$12,000.
$12,000? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
An Ohio woman refuses to remove her Halloween werewolf decoration, saying that it's become like a mascot and protects her home. Phil the werewolf was purchased at a hardware store and currently dons a patriotic American flag shirt. And it's like 12 feet tall. I mean, it's big.
Phil the werewolf?
Yeah, Mary Simmons has received a warning from the city but refuses to take Phil down. In fact, she's planning out his wardrobe for the summer season. She said, we're going to get a big Hawaiian shirt, maybe some sunglasses. But the neighbors don't want it around anymore.
I keep 2 Halloween decorations, not a lot like this. I keep 2 Halloween decorations up. It's just a guy crawling out of the dirt. It sits in the middle of my garden of zombie. But this is huge.
Yeah. By the way, did you know Rochelle went to Italy and I did not know this? You know the statue of David? It's like 18 feet tall.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a regular human size.
Yeah.
Thing's massive. Imagine having that in your front yard.
Man.
Dangling all around for everybody to see.
Hey, you see that guy's nutsack.
The city of Dayton has no plans to remove Phil at this time, by the way. Fishermen lost out on millions of dollars after a 619-pound blue marlin was disqualified during a North Carolina fishing tournament. The top prize for the Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament is $2.77 million. Wow. Now, the fish in question, reeled in by a boat named Sensation, was disqualified because it had shark bite marks on it.
I saw this.
Yeah. The International Game Fish Association rules say a fish is disqualified if there is any flesh damaging or removing damage to the fish. The blue marlin appeared to have a chunk of its flesh missing. And size-wise, it would have won.
Absolutely.
That's crazy that disqualifies it.
And Kathy, and it's a very small chunk. But I guess what they're looking for is an accosted. Yeah, they don't want the imperfections.
But you know what? That has nothing to do with the skill of the fisherman.
I know.
That reeling in the catch
or does it because the fish may be injured and so it's easier?
Well, listen, a lot of times this happens when it's when it's on the hook, it might get attacked. But this, from what I gathered, this seemed to be an older issue.
Kathy's saying it might be because the fish is somewhat injured and be less of a fight. Reeling it in.
I want to fight you.
I want to. Imagine you're pulling the fish, and that's what it says to you. I just want to fight you.
I want to fight you.
It's a talking marlin.
I want to kiss you.
It's a nice marlin.
I want to fight you.
Why can't you be more like this marlin?
I want to kiss you. I want to fight you.
Captain Greg McCoy said, we don't get a plaque on the Big Rock Fountain. We don't get the dough. The boat Sushi won the top prize with a 484.5 pound catch. But theirs way outweighed it. It's 619 pounds.
It's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, very much so. All right, one more story, and then we will wrap it up. A drug syndicate that tried to smuggle tons of methamphetamine from Canada to Australia and New Zealand by hiding it in shipments of maple syrup and canola oil has been busted. That would be the tastiest methamphetamine ever.
I think so. This is great meth. This is great amphetamine.
So authorities from the three nations said that they've worked together for more than 5 months to unravel the elaborate scheme that was worth billions of dollars. And they said in January, Canadian authorities alerted them that 766 gallons of liquid meth had been hidden in 181 bottles of canola oil bound for Australia. In New Zealand, police said that they tried to hide more than 3/4 of a ton of meth in a shipment of maple syrup.
Do you know that maple syrup itself gets smuggled across the Canadian border?
Still?
Still.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
Interesting. There must be taxes and so on.
I'm assuming that's it, yeah.
That cause it to be a little bit more of a pricey commodity. All right, and there you go. That's what I have for you in the Bizarre File this morning. All right, with that, let's give away some more movie screening passes. Indiana Jones and the Destiny of the Dial of Destiny.
The density.
We'll take 3 callers. First 3 callers, 215-263-WMMR. It's next Wednesday, a week from today. at AMC Neshaminy. 7 p.m. is when that show is going to be playing, and the film hits theaters on Friday, June 30th. So it'll be the next 3 callers, and we will take care of you. Toot sweet. We're going to take a break. Come back in a second. Our lesson question awaits. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve. On 93.3 WMMR.
Obviously,
The
right?
things
Like
you
glow,
crack?
yeah, the glow bracelets.
Yeah.
What if it was like just a vessel that was like decorative that you could insert the glow
And make it
necklace?
different colors?
Well,
the pitch here, though, is that it looks flesh-colored. It looks like you have altered your skin.
You're saying not looking like it's implanted.
not like but accessorizing your glow necklace.
Like what Twiggy wore in Buck Rogers.
Here's the audio of her showing it off. Here we go.
My necklace glows like a heartbeat. It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
Oh my God! Shut up!
My necklace glows like a heartbeat.
Wait.
It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
Oh my God. My heartbeat. Wait, Steve, what are you putting in your mouth?
Trying to get something to puff. Give me something to puff out my lips.
Give him something. Wait, you need like here. Hold on, I have something.
Do you have cotton or something?
Tiny flashlight.
wait.
Steve was trying to put a flashlight in his mouth. Not a flashlight, a flashlight.
Yeah, we do have those.
Stick a flashlight in your mouth.
Try that, Case.
Try that.
What do you have? Yeah, okay.
Close to the rhythm of
Wait,
my
this is too
heart.
big. What do you think I am, a Watusi warrior here? What'd you give him?
Do you think somebody told her to say that, or is that all on
Well,
her
I'm sure she's
own?
getting paid for
Well,
it.
I know, but like where they like say it's,
Sure.
it's to your heart.
Close to the rhythm.
My necklace glows like a heartbeat. It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
You look like
Let me see.
like Bill Murray in where the giant plant when he goes to the dentist. Little Shop of Horrors. You look like
Little Shop of it goes to the beat of my heartbeat. It's right under my neck and it glows and it pumps to the heart of my heart. Glow, turn on my heart light.
It moves to the rhythm of my heartbeat.
Oh my God!
Shut up.
Yeah. Well, this person Simon Huck is a conceptual artist, so it's.
I'm a conceptual artist. And I want your neck to glow.
Stop it. So they don't see that outside the bubble.
All right,
the
so
rest of the world is like, what are you doing?
I'm looking at one. Nick pulled this up. It looks like she has feathers growing out of her chest.
Yeah,
Yes.
Steve, this is Chrissy Teigen.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Nick, do you have the other ones as
Kind
well?
of cool.
This is no.
That's cool.
She only posted one.
I mean, listen. It looks like studio makeup done for a movie.
Yeah,
For a
that's what
horror movie.
Yeah, a horror movie or some sort of
fantasy,
sci-fi.
thing.
So why not be like the large singing plant from Little Shop of Horrors?
Yeah. So meanwhile,
Seymour?
so Tegan, sported a featherhead breastplate, they called it, while Tan France wore a piece made to look like ruffled skin with bioreactive crystals, and Pajik wore horn-like sculpted shoulders. That's it.
Okay, so the one that looks like mushrooms growing here, if we can get that one, I think it looks kind of really like Casey. You don't like things that look like openings and circles and indentations in a body.
Wouldn't it be awesome for like the socially elite for it to become fashionable to wear like a horn out of your forehead?
But Preston,
Wouldn't that?
Like the
you're
Hunger
not
Games?
far.
Yeah.
Preston, the bagel thing.
Yeah.
The Japanese were doing the bagel implants on the forehead.
But I'd like to see like a rhino horn coming out of their forehead. Oh my God.
Charge.
Rhino. That's so rhino. All right, anyhow, the full exhibit of futuristic clothing-like objects inserted under the skin opens in New York City next week. The entrance fee to even see this stuff is $40 if you want to go check it out.
$40 to see these incredible expressions of self.
Ewan McGregor is in talks to reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a series that centers around his Star Wars character for Disney Plus, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law. It's a departure.
That would be.
Yeah. I think you should let him off with time served. Giving you time served.
He's using the Jedi mind trick to sway the judge.
I think you should find him innocent. I'm finding you innocent. I object! There's no way that's legal! It's totally legal.
Oh my God.
I think you need to go to sleep. I got to go to sleep now.
That would be.
I would
be
brilliant. I would totally
attorney at law.
This isn't the evidence you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you're stone cold guilty, give me a call.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the commercials. Yeah.
Demand Kenobi.
Yeah. And he's licensed in Missouri.
I am.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not, I'll convince them I am.
Yes, that's right.
I'm licensed in Missouri. He's licensed in Missouri.
Better call Obi.
Would he wear a Would he be a cowboy hat?
Space cowboy.
Lawyer?
Yeah.
Type? Oh my God. Obi-Wan Kenobi, attorney at law.
Anytime, day or night, even on New Year's Day.
Coming soon to Disney Plus.
Or Life Day on the Wookiee home planet.
No, this could be good. I loved him as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't care for the series of movies, but I thought he pulled it off
I agree.
wonderfully.
He was the thing that kept me watching, and he provided, I believe, the emotional core to those. The second and third movies I really do like. I think they're good. In just tone and in some way, the distinction between the Abrams movies, the artificiality of the first trilogy was almost too much. It was so CGI'd that it was hard to connect to.
Yeah,
But
everything on the screen was fake.
Yeah.
Except for the people, and even in that case, a lot of like Jar Jar obviously was fake. But there's a big stretch of time where we don't know what happens with Obi-Wan, and maybe they'll fill in that time.
Yeah.
with his law career,
law school,
With this,
passing the bar.
Mr. Kenobi, do you have anything to say? John Houseman.
So anyhow, we'll see when that eventually
He gets his own
surfaces.
judge show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This bitch still got my TV. Give the TV back.
He's settling these small claims cases.
It's like Sam
This
people.
bitch still got my TV.
Oh my God. Oh.
I suggest you return the TV.
It's after 10, Wednesday morning, Preston and Steve show. We'll get to the secret text word in a little bit. I usually do it after the bizarre file, and I forgot to do it. So we'll do it at the end of this segment. We'll have your chance to win those tickets to see Tina Fey and Amy Poehler coming up in December. In the meantime, we're going to give away something else. We're going to do today's lesson question. We are going to give away a Super Mario Brothers movie prize pack, including the film on Blu-ray. Question we have for you this morning is, what do they call Saturday on E.T.'s home planet? If you get it close enough.
Yeah.
I'll set you up because it may have been hard to hear. And after all, it's in its native language. Let's see if you know that. What do they call Saturday on E.T.'s home planet? 215-263 WMMR. Call right now.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we got some stories. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Well, Preston, Real Housewives of New York star Kelly Bensimon sharing her secret for quickly losing 10 pounds. Bensimon says she actually went old school, forcing a, quote, blistering bowel movement that left her unconscious for 2 days.
Wow.
Nicholas Malvagna of New Jersey has pled guilty to 2 counts of assault after hurling a phone at BB Rexa during a concert. Malvagna was initially planning to throw an alarm clock, telling authorities he wanted to see time fly. Hey! And finally, Meghan Markle denying a flurry of stories, claiming she has signed a huge endorsement deal with Dior. However, Markle did announce she has signed a new deal to be the face of Pat's Chili Dogs. And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All right, who is the person that threw the phone at that chick?
Nicholas Malvagna.
Is he anybody noteworthy or just a
an guy in the audience who stupid? He threw a phone, and by the way,
he said he wanted to see what his aim was like.
yeah, hit her right in the face.
I mean,
3 stitches.
I saw the story. I don't know who she is. I don't follow a lot of pop music. But you know, I saw the video, and that sucks.
It clocked her good.
She had to get stitches.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Stitches.
I got hit with something when we were doing the. It was a Halloween party at the Electric Factory, and it took a little while for me to really come to the conclusion.
Realization?
Yeah, the realization that, because I felt like, man, that guy threw that at me. The chances are that they weren't aiming for me in particular. Chances are that they hit me in the head with a quarter or something, and I felt it and it hit me. And then I was like, you know what? Chances are they weren't aiming for me or, in
Who
particular.
were they aiming for?
Well, maybe just the group.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows?
Yeah. Well, he was aiming for this gal, I guess,
Yeah.
right? He wanted to see what kind of arm he had. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we can get an answer to today's lesson question. And we want to know, what do they call Saturday on ET's home planet? 215-263 WMMR. Rich was our first caller in, so Rich is who we're going to go to. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning, guys.
All right, bud. So what do they call Saturday on ET's home planet?
Orf clap.
Yes, that's good enough. Orf clap is what Nick wrote down. So, Rich, hang on. Going to be my regular orc clap thing. We are going to give you a...
You're going to be my regular Saturday night thing, baby. Oh, yeah.
We're going to give you a Super Mario Brothers movie prize pack, including the film on Blu-ray. Experience this year's biggest blockbuster event like never before. Own the Power Up Edition on digital and Blu-ray with supersized exclusive content. And it's available now from Universal Pictures Home Entertainment.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Pow, 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 pow! Kaboomba!
All right. All right, let's get right into the stories. Got a couple things. I have breaking news, actually.
Breaking news?
Yeah, from the world of music news.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
We go now to the newsrooms of WMMR, where Preston Elliott has a breaking news story. Preston.
Greta Van Fleet singer Josh Kieska publicly has come out as of yesterday, writing that he has been in a loving same-sex relationship with his partner, he said, for the last 8 years. Wow. Kieska made the announcement on his Instagram account saying that those close to him were aware, but it was time to go wide with the news. Kieska noted that he felt compelled to speak up right now because his adopted home of Tennessee has been responsible for so much anti-LGBTQ legislation in the last year, from its restrictive drag bill that was ruled unconstitutional to a series of bills around access to trans health care. And he said, it's imperative that I speak my truth for not only myself, but in hopes to change hearts, minds, and laws in Tennessee and beyond. With that in mind, he pointed fans to a variety of organizations doing on-the-ground advocacy work in Tennessee. I say the LGBTQ plus community is a cultural pillar constantly championing positivity and acceptance through art, music, literature, film, and most importantly, legislation. And he said the greatest moral gift of all is our capacity to love. And as we travel through time, may our greater understanding of the matter around and within us teach us to love ever deeper. So I'm happy for him. I think that's great. You know, it's to be able to have to hide who you are is a very difficult thing for people. And I think it's great that he's able to come out and publicly say that, you know. When my son came out to me, he was afraid to do it at first. And then I was like, dude, come on, it's me, you know, absolutely, of course. So
listen, there are a lot of supportive allies out there, but there are a lot of people who are not. Right. And so it is the fear of the people who are not, or the people that hide in the shadows that keep people in the closet.
Yeah. And it's a terrible place to be. So congratulations to him. And Greta Van Fleet, by the way, will release their third studio album, Starcatcher, on July 21st. Dolly Parton's latest single, Bygones, featuring Rob Halford with special guests Nikki Sixx and John 5, debuts at #1 on the media-based classic rock songs chart. And it follows World on Fire, the lead single from Dolly's upcoming album Rockstar, which became the album's first #1 when he peaked atop Billboard's Rock Digital Song Sales chart in May. She said, I'm so excited to see the response Bygones is receiving. It to debut at #1 on the rock charts is such a thrill for me, and it makes it even sweeter to share this with Rob, Nikki, and John 5. And I also have to recognize my co-producer on the album and co-writer on this song, Kent Wells, who helped me bring this song to life. And I'm a happy girl today, she said. Dolly will head to London next week to begin a European media blitz of appearances in support of Rockstar. The album will be released on November 17th.
You couldn't do a tour with that album because you have so many contributors.
Yeah. But they could do a show, you know, maybe in Vegas or something like that. Or Nashville, if she's more comfortable there.
Right. Or Dollywood, where they have roller coasters.
That's perfect. And then one last story. Coming on August 14th is Aerosmith's new 3 CD and 4 LP Greatest Hits collection. The career-spanning compilation will be issued in conjunction with the band's 50th anniversary tour and features 44 tracks on disc, digital, and 180-gram custom color vinyl. During a recent chat, Joe Perry was pressed as to whether a new studio album is in Aerosmith's future. He said, not right at the moment, and I just don't see the time for it. I would put everything I have into doing another Aerosmith album, even if it's on, if that's even on the cards. He said, if we get time to work on some new music, that'd be great. But knowing Steven and knowing our age and what it takes to do an album, I don't know. He said, I'm always playing. I'm always writing stuff. But at this stage, I can't say. I just want to get through this next tour and play live and give something back to the fans. He spoke about the advancing age of himself and his band members, explaining, we've never been the kind of band that you can sit back and go, well, this is what the next 3 years is going to be like. This is what our next 5 years is going to be like. He said, especially now at our age, he said, the air's getting thin up here, man. So many people are passing on to the next step, so to speak. So they have greatest hits, but don't look for an album really anytime in the very near future. All right, and there you go. That is what I have in music news for you. We have one final break to take, and we have a secret text word to give away. Thank you. Casey just reminded me of it. Kathy, pick a good number caller, please.
8.
8th caller, 215-263 WMMR. We'll get a winner when we get back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
I always wanted to learn Spanish.
All that went on, yeah. She is officially living her best life after splitting with husband Liam Hemsworth. Soaking in that post-breakup glow with a potential new fling. The mother's daughter singer and the Hunger Games star called it quits on Saturday after less than 8 months of marriage and many more as a couple. The two announced that they've decided to, quote, focus on themselves and their careers in a joint statement.
The thing that is wild is, I guess about 4 months ago, she said she was bisexual, right? That she enjoyed relationships with women as well. And lo and behold, right? I'm sure you have the information there.
Well, yeah, so she is seemingly taking an on-to-the-next-level approach. As hours before the news broke, she was spotted kissing Caitlyn Carter. Carter recently ended her not-so-real marriage to reality TV star and Kardashian step-sibling Brody Jenner.
Can you imagine?
The two have been vacationing in Lake Como, Italy with Cyrus's sister and were seen packing on the PDA at the Il Sereno Hotel over the weekend, where onlookers said they were not trying to hide it at all.
Oh, this is all happening on Instagram. I've got to follow her, Preston. I'm missing so much.
Are you ready? So here
please.
Here is her inspirational message. She wrote.
Do we have music that would?
I think you should cue. This is inspirational, so this is...
Oh, you want the
anthem. So she wrote, don't fight evolution because...
I hear you, bro.
You will never win. Like the mountain I'm standing on top of, which was once underwater, connected with Africa. What? Change is inevitable.
This is my fight. Take back my life.
All right, and life is a climb, but the view is great.
This is my fight song. Take back my life.
You know what? I think you need a different one. Can you read that line back to me again?
Which one?
The climb one.
Okay.
This is
Life is a climb, but the view is great.
There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move.
What's the name of this song?
You love that song.
I do love this song.
I think that's probably why she wrote it.
Yeah.
So
she's so smart.
Hemsworth, meanwhile, has been the only one in this love square, laying relatively low. He stepped out with his brother Chris in Byron Bay, Australia, where the two picked up some frozen yogurt. So they hit up Froyo.
Hey, you want some yogurt or something? Hey, we'll get frozen yogurt.
But he did break his silence a little bit. The 29-year-old was, like I said, was hanging out with Chris. And
let me eat my yogurt.
It seems Liam isn't quite ready to jump back in. And Liam told Daily Mail Australia when asked about the split, "You don't understand what it's like. I don't want to talk about it, mate."
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he entered it. She seemed like a safe bet, Miley Cyrus. That she would be the wife he had always wanted. But no, listen, the heart wants what the heart wants, Preston. And this heart wanted another chick.
I guess so,
Yeah.
right? It's. I was about to say it's so funny, but not funny. It's just
ha funny.
No,
Like I make you laugh.
It's interesting to watch couples in an off again, on again relationship, and you and your friends who know these people know. You know.
Yes.
It's never going to work. It's never going to work. But then one of them goes, let's get married.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be serious about it. This is it. I'm diving in. And they think that is going to be the Band-Aid, that's going to be the big,
Oh yeah, the impression of commitment. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's have the trappings of commitment. Yeah. Without the commitment.
And then they don't realize after it just goes back to the same old crap, and it didn't.
And there you are eating yogurt with your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
There you are eating froyo with your brother.
It's also funny to watch the reactions because he's laying low, not saying anything, not posting anything on Instagram. Meanwhile, Miley is going nuts on Instagram.
She's finger blasting somebody in Lake Como.
And they're both, she and this Caitlyn girl are both posting a ton of hot photos of themselves. So in order for them to get validation post breakup, they need to post these superficial shots of themselves. Right. Whereas Liam is just like, I'm going to get some frozen yogurt.
And not for anything. Just, I don't know, live your life how you want to live, but maybe be a little respectful of the marriage you just had. Right? I mean, just take a little bit of a breather before you're squatting on each other's faces and pictures on Instagram.
So they were married for roughly 8 months, but they'd been together on and off for more than a decade.
Yeah, a long time.
Anyhow, some question whether their elaborate ceremony in Nihi on Sumba.
This is all made up.
Is this all? Are these real
These
words?
are pretend places.
You're our geographer.
I know places, but yeah, this one's a mystery to me.
In Nihi on Sumba.
How do you spell? How do you spell?
Where'd you get married?
Nihi. How do you spell Nihi?
Nihi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Ehe. That's a town one over.
No.
It's like Shelbyville and Springfield.
What?
That's how they sound in Ehe.
Oh, Nihi Sumba. It's all.
Oh.
All right. Is it an island nation?
Yeah, it's in.
Yeah, it's right next to Nelby Tai Tai.
It's in Indonesia.
Oh, dear Lord.
Nelby and Tata.
Is right next to Nihi on Sumba.
Yeah. Just south of Isotata.
That's the main city.
Yeah.
I'm going into where you're going. Wait.
So people are wondering if their ceremony in Nihi on Sumba in June of 2018 was legally binding or not. They might not really be married. Yeah. Okay. So that was a big story.
It sort of rocked my world. Let me ask you this: then you all worked in besides? Did you all work in regular restaurants?
Fast food, yeah.
For servers, is how commonplace is it to on the way from the?
No, not the way.
But
we talked about this.
Maybe
on the way back.
Maybe up on the counter.
No, on the way out.
Yeah,
because the way the kitchen that I worked in, you'd put up, order up, you put it up on a counter.
Like there's a whole plate of fries,
and it was still in the kitchen, so it wasn't. It wasn't in line of sight for the customers, so they could probably grab a fry and eat one on the way out.
It was never that for me.
You never did that?
No, but I
never.
But I sucked all the nitrous out of the whipped cream.
Really?
I watched.
Dude, my waiter just took a dump on our table.
I watched one waitress. She had like 3 or 4 different whipped cream things that just was like cream juice because it had no nitrogen. What's going on here? These are all broken.
Do you remember?
Dripping. Girl, I don't know. I have no idea.
Casey.
That's messed up, man.
Casey, at a place called the Coffee. You remember the Coffee Beanery?
Yeah.
All right, so the same thing happened. I wanted whipped cream on hot chocolate.
Oh my God.
The guy's like, he's going through the cans. I said, what are the odds that 6 cans of whipped cream have no propellant in them?
And Steve, did you know that when you do nitrous, it's like sulfur hexafluoride?
Yeah. It makes your voice sound like this. Did you folks like some espresso?
Just side note, that stuff killed brain cells so fast.
Oh my God.
It was so stupid.
Dude, also, I watch people in the parking lot doing these things and walking at the same time. Rule number 1, sit down first. first because you're going to fall and smash your face into a parking block.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get to surgery. I'm a neurosurgeon.
Preston, you know that thing that you got me where you can stick your phone in the vents of your air conditioner?
Yes.
I saw somebody that has.
That's how you heat up your chicken?
No, Steve, it's even more ridiculous than that. And he listens to the show. I'm not going to out you, but he has one of these things that goes into the vent that you put in
air freshener.
No barbecue sauce or honey and mustard or something like a chicken nugget.
He has like
dipping.
a caddy.
Get out of here!
I swear to God.
I like that.
Right up here?
I like that.
Because
That's great.
It's exactly what it looked like.
It's like having a Fixins bar on your dashboard.
And I made a joke about it, like, hey, I can't believe you have a barbecue sauce holder here. He goes, yeah, I found it on, it was like, ad on Instagram. I was like, that's actually what this is.
Steve, that's like getting a limited edition, like Jeep or something. This is a Roy Rogers.
Right, Roy Rogers. Look at this. This signal squirts horsey sauce. Yeah, the rear view, Preston. It's like you're milking a cow.
All right, TMZ reports that Davy Chase. Now, I looked her up, and it says she started the ring. She was Samara. She's the psycho.
Yes.
The scary girl. The girl. Well. Mr. Jones. It's the Counting Crows on 93.3 WMMR, bringing us to the end of our music portion of the program today. We do have a couple things you need to do before we get out of here. One of them is to give away our secret text word prize.
Yes.
We were looking for caller number 8, and look, it's Sandy.
Sandy?
So we're going to go to Sandy on the line.
Sandy.
Hi there, Sandy.
Hi, good morning, it.
Good morning. Good morning to see you. All right, Sandy.
Yes.
What is
Good morning to see you.
What's the secret text word, please?
Update.
Yes! Update is correct. Sandy, hang on the line. We're going to give you tickets to Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, the Restless Leg Tour. Thursday, December 14th at the Met, Philadelphia. Tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster. And our random winner, our random texter, is Rosemary Schaffner, who is from Tredos, Pennsylvania. So congratulations, Rosemary. You're going to see Tina Fey and Amy Poehler as well.
This is probably the music they'll come out to, right?
I think so. It's a light and fun show.
Is that a joke that I don't get, the restless leg?
I guess so, because I don't get it either.
Okay.
Like, was it Sarah Silverman? Hers was called Grow Some Lips. So I get that.
Right.
But the restless leg thing, I don't know if it's in reference to some kind of bit that they've done before or
I
something.
don't know either.
Not sure. All right. So anyway, happy to give those away. Hey, I should have done this earlier this morning, but I would like to congratulate Charlie D'Amico. That is Chuck's daughter. Graduates from high school today.
Wow.
Which is awesome. So congratulations.
Is he okay?
He seems to be okay.
You know how
I know.
Chuck gets.
Yeah, Chuck.
I feel like we need to all check in on him.
Chuck gets emotional when it comes to his kids, for sure, which is it's a good thing, you know.
This is going to be fine. But let's talk mid-August when she's getting ready to head off to college.
Okay, so he's still okay because she's here.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
She going away?
Yeah, she's going to UConn.
Wow.
Maybe we can rent him an apartment up there.
Yeah, maybe he'll work remotely from there.
Yeah. He could.
Chuck
Oh,
Chuck is he's a doting father, big time. So congratulations, Charlie's awesome too, man.
Yeah.
She's a lot of fun.
Yep. I've only met her a few times. Yeah.
She's got her mother's attitude.
Yep.
And which is hilarious.
Wicked smart too.
Wicked smart. Yeah. So congratulations, Charlie. I would like to thank Keith Jones.
Yay!
President of the Flyers. Came by today, spent some time here. It was awesome. And he brought the new team jerseys in so we could take a look at that. And, we talked all things hockey and whatnot. So it was great to have Jonesy in here. And also it was great to meet a new friend, Alex Pearlman.
Hey!
Performing at Helium in September. And his TikTok videos are exploding.
Yes.
He does these kind of rants. And people are digging it. He's getting millions of views, which is huge. So he's taking it all in and
figuring out how to process it.
Yeah. And he's local. Where did he say he lives now?
Well, he didn't.
Okay.
And he doesn't want people to know where he lives.
Oh,
I was
okay.
actually just talking to him in the Acme Lounge about it all. But he grew up near Westchester, but in Delco.
Okay.
He said Chesco.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said on the Chesco border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. And I guess we need to do the letter of the day. All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter. And the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
O, as in O range.
All right, that's not even a word, but we do have a word that will be here on Friday when we get all the letters. And we're going to give away a family 4-pack of admission tickets and fast lane vouchers to Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom. You can enjoy your favorite coasters and thrill rides in Dorney Park, family fun in Planet Snoopy, and over a dozen water slides in Wildwater Kingdom. And that's all for one admission price. You can get the best deal on admission tickets today at dorneypark.com. So we'll give that away on Friday. A thank you to our sponsors goes out. I want to thank Duncan. The Preston and Steve show runs on Duncan. And also Polar Seltzer. Just water, zillions of tiny bubbles, and great taste. Refreshingly natural Polar Seltzer. Tomorrow on our program, you never know where we'll go, but we will have actor Harold Pirino on the show.
Oh, there you go.
And the show you're watching. Yeah.
You're
loving
awesome.
It. And they're in their second season now?
Yes.
Okay.
And just wrapping up.
All right, so we'll talk to Harold tomorrow. You know him from Lost and many other things as well. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day, and we will see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.